Opus hit the wrong button. We are live. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nerdcast. It is Devin broadcasting as always live from an undisclosed location in the center of Texas on a pretty chill, stormy, actually crazily stormy Thursday night. Joined, as you can see, with Royal. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine.
Awesome.
I'm having a little like sinus stuff happening, but other than that, I'm good.
That's not good. Sinus stuff is some of the most annoying shit you can deal with.
Happening. It really is, though. Is it stormy really bad there?
Right now, there are parts of central Texas, like literally I'm right in the middle. There's right above me in Round Rock, which is like the next town north. They've got some hail going on and some pretty bad storms. And then below me in San Marcos, they've got a crazy tornado storm, or tornado warning going, or warning watch. I believe it was tornado warning, and like baseball-sized hail, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh!
I've never heard of hail being described as baseball-sized before.
I don't want to experience that personally.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
I can live without that.
But the storm was that particular storm, the tornado hail storm, was supposed to hit right over Austin, right overhead, but something happened right when it approached the city where it just suddenly went south and hit San Marcos. So, lucky for me that happened, but it sucks for them that they got the bad turn of event there.
I will say that if I were maybe like 10 years old, baseball-sized hail would be very exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting if like you don't own anything. if you don't own a car with windshields, or you don't own a house that you have to.
So then, I don't own any of those things.
But you still don't want to be out in it, getting hit with a golf ball or even a golf ball-sized hail.
I don't want to get hit with a baseball-sized hail, but I do want to see a baseball-sized hail. As a person who, Like, do I want to like go on the covered porch and be like, "Damn, look at that"? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, get out here and look at this hail. This hail is about as big as a softball out here.
Somebody had taken a picture of it. Here, I'll show you this so you can get your fix of
of giant-sized hail.
Let me see if I can share the screen with you.
That looks like a snowball. That looks like someone put a scoop of ice cream into their hand.
I mean, but you can see how shiny it looks, so it's not. I mean, it's a hard surface. It almost looks like a what's that medieval weapon? Like a morning star.
Oh yeah.
It almost looks like that because of like the mounds on it. Wait, what are you doing? What's going on, Discord? Why aren't you?
It doesn't like it. A snowball.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. For whatever reason, it won't let me do the screen share thing.
I can see it on my phone. I'm looking at the stream.
Yeah, but then like if I try to share videos and stuff, then you wouldn't be able to see it or hear it until it comes up on your thing, which would be like a big delay. I don't know, but you know, I've been having issues with my computer in general where things have just been going slower than usual. Okay, let me try. Okay, here, now it seems like it's actually...
Oh, I think you... Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe?
Okay, now you can see my screen, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. What was the last, and this is just me not knowing at all, not having any recollection of where we left off. What was the last episode of X-Men that we talked about?
I don't remember.
I don't
Death
either.
2?
Was it
End of Life Death? We've missed like 3. Talking about 3 for sure.
Wait, so we didn't even talk about like
We've missed the last 2 weeks because the 1 week I was doing a bunch of work and the 1 week your friends were in town.
Let me see. Okay, so then Bright Eyes. We didn't talk about Bright Eyes. As the X-Men hold a funeral for Gambit. So we didn't talk about Gambit's funeral?
No, we sure didn't.
Oh, wow. Okay, we are behind then.
We're a little behind.
Okay, well... we can catch up on that then. I mean, we've got a lot to talk about with the last episode for certain.
Yeah, for sure.
How are you feeling about the show so far? I mean, we've got 1 episode left.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I think that as time goes on, I feel... and like this is an unpopular opinion probably. But as the show goes on, I feel like maybe some of those voice actors should have been recast.
Oh yeah, I know that you weren't.
I'm not.
Wait, who were you not a fan of before? You were telling me you weren't a fan of Gambit.
I was not a fan of Gambit's new voice. It's not Southern enough, and Rogue's voice is also not Southern. It's not Southern. And
her voice is very squeaky.
It's quite like it has like a vocal fry that's enjoyable. Like she has that kind of like little rasp to her voice, which I do like, and I think it's lovely. But her accent is not a Southern accent, and that voice actress is from Australia. Not saying that like she could not do a Southern accent, but she just does not have a Southern accent.
I mean, it's the same voice actor as like the original series too.
Yeah.
Like, did you not like her voice in the original series?
I don't think I was as invested in it because I was 12.
Fair enough. Well, I think but that also like plays to some of like the nostalgia of it, right? Is like
yeah, it really does, and I think that's probably why like I think people do, and it's fair. Like it's a nostalgia hit to have these same voice actors. I will say that the original voice of Gambit is now the voice of Cable, and he does a terrific job.
Wait, the original voice actor for Gambit is Cable? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think he's
Interesting.
great. I think he's a great Cable.
Yeah, I like the voice actor for Cable. It actually sounds very similar to the original Cable. So I thought it was just the same
I
actor
wonder if he
returning.
was the same. I don't know. I don't know because when you look at the credits, there are a lot of people who are doing more than one voice.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the main cast, but like when you have a guest star, you'll have
Let's
someone who
see.
does more than one.
Chris Potter was the guy who did the original voice of Gambit. Let me see if I can find. Oh, yes, he voiced Gambit in the original series. He comes back as Cable. So who is Cable in the original series?
I wonder if it is the same person, but I don't know. But he's terrific. He's like the perfect like gritty old man.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was the same. Because even in the original, he was still like he still had that Clint Eastwood kind of grit to it.
Yeah.
So which is perfect. That's
great. He's great at it. Yeah, he's terrific.
Like the original series, Cable had some of my favorite lines. Where when in his first appearance, he shows up on Muir Island. Angel is there. He's trying to get the cure, the mutant cure, and he breaks into Angel's house. And
oh, great!
And for whatever, I forget how exactly the exchange led there, but Cable said like Angel's pointing a gun at him, and Cable is like, if you point a gun at somebody, you should shoot, or something similar to that. Or if you're gonna shoot, don't miss. And Angel goes, yeah. I'll remember that. He shoots and he misses, of course, and Cable shoots him and blasts him out the window. And he just goes, "You've got a short memory." Even as a kid, I was like, "That's cold-blooded, man." That is like, that was awesome.
That's
like,
so funny.
And you don't. And that was like that was like adult humor too. Like it was violent.
Yeah.
It was
it's
callous.
not like
you know,
the usual like child's fare.
Yeah,
maybe.
I thought it was the original Gambit or Cable voice actor. So that's actually interesting that it's not.
Does it say who the original Cable voice actor was?
It didn't say it on here. I guess I could look it up. Who else?
What's your t-shirt?
What's up?
What is on your t-shirt?
Oh, it says Kumite from
That's cool looking.
From Bloodsport.
Oh.
What other voice actors aren't you a fan of?
I feel like, and I know this is the same person, but like I feel like the lady who does Storm's voice, it's very stilted. Like it just is not fluid in a way. It just seems like she's concentrating very hard on creating this voice to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know. I don't know if it's like we're out of practice thing. Wolverine also sounds off in a way to me. I mean, they're all older.
Yeah,
I get it, but like it's I think because like especially like the older show, you could be a little slower because the animation was kind of a little slower, and now it's like it's a very like computer like smooth animation thing like that, and you kind of expect things to like keep up the pace, and I'm just like, man, this sounds is slightly off to me.
She does speak.
I don't know.
Slower. It seems like it might be slower. I mean, I think there is a quality about Storm's voice acting that I understand where you're getting at. I don't know if I dislike it or not, but it is different. And same with Wolverine. I noticed it with Wolverine's voice actor that like, you know, his voice kind of falls in and out of a weird range that makes the gravelly part of it seem weird.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it gets oddly nasal sounding, but
it sounds a little off.
Just
and
a little.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Although in the last episode it was pretty spot on.
Noticeable. Enough to not be noticeable. I think the person who does Magneto is terrific. Hello, it is me, and I found out Oreo coffee is a thing, and I'm mad because the 7-Eleven I go to stopped selling it the day after I got it because it is delicious. Thanks, Toaster.
Hey, what's up, Toaster? Welcome back to the stream. Oreo coffee. It's a good thing because
terrific.
That also sounds like it's gonna fast track you to diabetes. So,
I mean, if it's like if you're not putting any sweetener in it, is
how's
it like
everyone doing? Yo,
like
Lynn
the
Ratman.
7-Eleven, or is it like a drink, like a, you know what I mean? Like, is it like a like you get a bottle of Dunkin' Donuts Oreo coffee, or is it like a pump and you can, you know what I mean? Like control the sugar.
Yeah, like a creamer or something.
Or like, you know, like when you go to Wawa and they have like flavored coffee of the month or whatever.
I don't know what Wawa is. Holy shit, Toaster.
Oh.
What the fuck did you just put
Sorry.
in here? Oh, god damn.
Well,
you're gonna have to start minifying your
Oh yeah,
URLs.
no, that is gonna fast track you immediately. I already I have diabetes looking at this can. Yeah. They have that at the Dollar General, Toaster.
Oh
pretty sure.
boy.
I'm pretty sure they have that at the Dollar General.
Hold on a second.
Please check the nutrition facts and tell us how many.
I'm actually looking at it right now. 36 grams of sugar, including 29 grams of added sugar. God.
58% of your daily value of sugar.
That's a lot. That's a lot of sugar. Yeah, I would steer clear of this. They did a good thing taking that away. Oh,
maybe
man.
you could give yourself like a little shot of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, they probably have a. I would be surprised if they didn't have like an Oreo creamer.
You drank 3 of them? Oh my god, friend, you need an intervention.
Lynn Ratman on YouTube, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a good night. Why is that link so fucking big? I drank 3 of them. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. You could see through lead. Look, I'm trying to do you a favor here. I'm trying to see if I can find like creamer. What is this?
Dude, there has to be another way. What
is Cadbury Oreo Instant? What is this?
Oh, hot chocolate.
Oh, for hot chocolate. Oh, this could probably work too. I don't know.
This is also why I don't buy Oreos on the regular. Like,
yeah,
it's the same like if I had seen that Oreo coffee, because I think I have seen it in the Dollar General. I think they have it at the Dollar General. But I think I saw it and I was like, nope, because I know that once I drink it, it's over. And if I buy a box, like a thing of Oreos, it's gonna be eaten in like 2 days.
I generally do a pretty good job of this isn't the tweet I had open. To a tweet.
Isn't it though? Oh, this was a terrific scene.
Yeah.
They were so cute, little best friends. That was so precious.
They really did play up their relationship in this season a lot more. So before we continue, I just have to express one big grievance I have with this show. And
please tell me.
It's just the fact, it's not really specific to just this show. I have a whole video on YouTube where I rant about how I'm mad about TV shows only getting 10 episodes rather than 23, which is what a season of television used to be. And I'm frustrated that this isn't also like at least 20 episodes, because there's so much good in this show as far as writing and character development, and like you get all of the really cool epic set pieces from the comic, but because they're cramming so much into like 10 episodes, 10 30-minute episodes, it feels so rushed, and we don't really ever get a chance to just kind of live in the world, and we don't really get a chance to like sit with the characters for more than a couple of scenes. And the whole show, the whole season just becomes about like key frames, like big moments, whether it's Gambit hanging from the Sentinel, or, you know, if it's, you know, whatever it might be, Magneto with the dude on the cross or whatever. There's always like one particular art piece that they center an entire episode around because that's all they have time for. And it would have been great to have more time with characters that are, you know, developing in this way. We didn't get a lot of Storm in this season. She had life death, but one of those life death episodes was split between her and Jubilee. And then like the other one, by the time we got that life death part 2, that's a great episode for, you know, a quick and dirty adaptation of life death. Like we're so preoccupied with what just happened in Genosha. We're just like, come on, let's get through it. We got to get to Genosha.
You're like, come on. Yeah, it's almost like, you know.
Yeah. So
like a deliberate kind of like spot, and it makes you a little resentful because you want that kind of to continue. And then the like, I feel like also like the emotional impact of Genosha was a little, because things were going so fast, like there's no time.
Yeah,
which I kind of understand, but like if they had time to like do Gambit's funeral, so like there's a lot happening. There's a lot that happened between like these last 3 episodes, and at the end of the day, it's like, man, these people witnessed a fucking genocide.
Yeah,
you know?
and because it goes by so quickly, like we don't really understand what actually like the epic nature of what happened on Genosha was. They tell us that so many thousands of mutants died, but first of all, we were never really introduced to that many amount of mutants to begin with. And second of all, you would think that after several thousand people die, that there would be like giant world events centered around it. But because they're cranking through so many X-Men story arcs, like as quickly as possible, we didn't get to see how the rest of the world reacted to a giant massacre of mutants.
You get a little bit of it. Because, like, the Sunspot's mom is, like, holding a fundraiser for this, like, relief. You get kind of Beast doing the relief efforts. I think he was there. Trish Chilby is, like, trying to make a fucking news story about it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But all of that is, you know, kind of, like, goes by very fast because then we're, like, concerned about what...
Well, It goes by fast, and it's also in service of something else. So, like, Sunspot's mom doing the charity thing is really in service of Sunspot's story arc, where he has to come out to his mom, and like then coming to terms with how what his mom views mutants, what his mom's view on mutants are. And so it's like, okay, so this is just about us getting, you know, more familiar with Sunspot, but you know, we still need to figure out what the world reaction to the massacre of mutants are. Like, it's a big deal. And Toaster says
it's a big deal, and it gets kind of like overshadowed a little bit by the thing with Bastion and the Sentinels.
Yeah,
because you're immediately like yanked into that.
Toaster says, one of my issues is Sunspot and people telling me he's a metaphor for coming out to your parents, to which I reply, bro, he's fucking straight. Well, yeah, but it is still about coming out. Yeah.
I mean, because that's like the entire concept of X-Men is a metaphor.
He has a secret that he's keeping from his parents because he doesn't know how she's gonna react once he tells her.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's gay or straight, or you know, whether he wants to come out as a, you know, campus Republican or whatever it might be. You know, he's got something that he's afraid of, the social backlash, the social stigma.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand that. I understand that.
The fight scene with Wolverine and Nightcrawler, fucking terrific.
Oh,
fucking
so
terrific.
Okay, that was that also part of Bright Eyes? Let me read
I think that was the next one in.
Let me read because you know it was a while since I
Rogue
watched this episode.
has been like messed up by the Trask issue, and she's in like a bed. So I think it's the
Okay.
next one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so Bright Eyes, as the X-Men hold a funeral for Gambit, Rogue angrily searches for Gyrick and Trask after gaining information from General Thunderbolt Ross. Oh yeah, Captain America had an appearance in that too.
Yeah.
Which is always a funny point of contention. How the Avengers kind of square up against the X-Men. So it was cool to see Cap. I don't know who
Which
voiced
I guess
him.
they kind of do in a weird way for the shows that like is not in the character of Steve Rogers necessarily, but I don't know enough. Like that's something like other people have said, but I don't know
The
enough
character
about
of
Captain
Steve
America
Rogers.
to like. Yeah, like it's like because if that were the case, if like this were happening in the comics, like Captain America would be like, okay, come on, your team, guys, like let's do it together. You know what I mean?
I mean, even in the comics, Captain America has had a lot of like butt-ins with the X-Men.
Fully, but like when think about like the Civil War
Yeah,
storyline where Iron Man is like, yeah, we need a registry, and Captain America's like, no, we don't.
yeah.
So,
That's like the one
Um,
instance where he actually sided with the mutants. In every other instance, he's just a total government stooge. Like in the first Secret Wars, they actually got into a big argument over it because and this is kind of a tangent. I'm going off on a little side tangent here. But in the first Secret Wars, the X-Men and the Avengers were all transported to some random planet by the Beyonder, and then all their villains were transported to another planet, and the Beyonder made them fight each other, like the heroes versus the villains. But Magneto was
That's so
transported.
stupid.
But it was awesome though. Magneto was transported with the heroes, and the Avengers didn't know why. The Avengers were pissed off about it. They were like, "What's this guy doing here?" And the X-Men were you know, basically had Magneto's back, and they were like got into an argument about how the Avengers were never there for mutant rights and whatnot. And it was actually, and Wolverine was going in on Captain America, and it's like, all right, okay, like I see what's happening here. But yeah, I mean, it's the origins are there, and it's rife for mining, which I imagine they'll probably do in the MCU. But they hint at it a little bit here with Rogue and Captain America.
Yeah, it was a fun little time. I like seeing Rogue's like feats of strength, and that's fun.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
going
that
nuts.
little scene. Yeah, I really liked how she was like, "Well, too bad," and like dropped the guy off the fucking. I was like, yeah, that's what happens. That is like trauma, grief, like culminating in this like, and what I think also trauma, grief, which someone said about this on ONTD, and I didn't think about it until they said it, but it was like, because we don't have the death of Ilyana Rasputin, we don't have Colossus. That's the equivalent to like turn
Yeah.
someone to Magneto that we would have seen like after Ilyana's death. Like Colossus is grieving, he is traumatized because he just got in a fight with the Executioner. His body can't turn back, and so he's like, screw you guys. And so that's what we have with Rogue, because we don't have those other characters. But yeah, terrific fight scene. Wonderful Wolverine and Nightcrawler. I thought that was fantastic. I was like, hell yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, but I think the X-Men are a bad metaphor is the issue. Lol. I guess we'll agree to disagree on that. I mean, they could be a metaphor
I think it
for
depends
a number
on
of things, but
the time and place of metaphor.
yeah, I mean, I don't have any strong feelings one way or another with respects to. I mean, because ultimately,
Like how
when-
good of a metaphor it is.
yeah, when you're talking about marginalized communities,
It's hard to like. At some point, you're just like,
yeah, to me, it's just like, okay, I understand. Like, even X-Men as a metaphor for like civil rights and shit, even that's not perfect. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to.
it just has to work.
Yeah, it just has to work. Just has to make sense. So
Yeah,
that's
Just
kind
has
of
to like
and
make people think about it.
yeah, exactly. It just has to be good enough to make people think about it. And so long as it's good enough to do that, then I have zero interest in nitpicking it because I believe in the cause. So, if it's a cause I believe in, then I'm willing to give the flaws a pass. It doesn't need to be perfect. So I guess
I will say that I thought
that.
The character, the person who is the voice actor for Bastion, reminds me of the cadence and delivery of Jeff Goldblum's character in Thor Ragnarok.
The Grand Master?
Yeah.
Oh, I would never have
like him to me.
I would never have guessed that. He's voiced by Theo James, who is
I don't know them. But I think he's good at it. I like it. Like, I think it's very like calm and cold. A little terrific.
He played Tobias Eaton in the Divergent series and was in Underworld Awakening and Underworld Blood Wars.
Sorry to this man. I did see Divergent, the first one.
He's in The White Lotus, but I've never actually watched that show.
I heard that show is really good.
I have too, but I just didn't come across. He played a Turkish diplomat on Downton Abbey, the first season, which I watched and was a big fan of.
I did see Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great time with Downton Abbey.
Me too. The first season, I think. At some point, I kind of trailed off on that show.
Remember that, like, when the Lady Mary like bangs the guy out, he dies. That was, like, the whole thing. Yeah, I think that was him.
Oh, that was him. I can't. I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it because
she bangs some dude and he.
I mean, that was like, what year did I watch? What year was that? 2011 or some shit.
I didn't start watching Downton Abbey until
Turkish Embassy in London on some of the Ottoman Sultan ministers.
Until 2018.
No, wait, hold on a second.
So it was either that guy or like his assistant, like his translator, maybe. It was something related to that where they like came to visit and one of them died after they were fucking and Mary was like, oh shit.
The story was inspired by true events. In 1996, Julian Fellows learned that according to a friend's great aunt's diary, around 1890, a diplomat did die in the bed of a single woman. The woman and a matron carried the diplomat's corpse to his guest bed, where a valet later found him. The secret was kept for a century.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Love it. You'd love to hear it.
You love to hear about.
Yeah, what a great time.
It's like the sense of Fallout, or they hate this fictional race because the race tried to exterminate all humans 100 years ago. I'm still trudging through Fallout 4, so I'm still not familiar enough with the synths. But I'm assuming you've got a point to make there, but I'll probably get it better once I'm deeper into Fallout 4. Christine Bentley on YouTube. Theo James was fantastic in Castlevania. He was in Castlevania?
Oh. Is it like the anime? The Castlevania anime?
Oh, he was the voice of Vesemir in The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf? Okay, awesome. The one good Witcher thing that the Netflix production actually managed to create. Yeah, I guess he was the voice of Hector on Castlevania for Netflix.
Cool.
Okay.
I also haven't seen that. I just finished the Sandman series.
Shit. Awesome.
Last week or two ago.
All right, I guess I'm a fan of this guy.
Behind. Yes, I did hear that RFK said he had a wormy part of his brain.
Yeah, that's also been very heavily memed lately. The whole brainworm discourse.
So,
Rogue throws that dude off of the top of that building.
The top of the skyscraper, but he's like one of those weird sentinel.
Yeah, that's what it was revealed, that the whole plan all along was human sentinels. And that leads us to the Tolerance is Extinction arc, which is episodes 8, 9, and 10. This kind of jumbles them up, and it's jumbled up in my brain too. I'm not entirely for certain what the sequence is, but that is also where the X-Men get attacked at the mansion. where you get that really cool Nightcrawler and Wolverine scene, and
Yeah,
that
wonderful.
was fun to watch.
It was so good.
it was cool to finally see Nightcrawler with swords doing his swashbuckling thing. But then seeing how
Yeah,
him and Wolverine, like, they fought like they were veterans, you know, like they had been
yeah,
teammates for a long time. Even though in the cartoon that's not the case, but in the comic, of course, they were both giant size X-Men #1, so they have that camaraderie.
yeah.
And you get to see what teleporting looks like from, you know, from the first person
It
perspective.
looks so good too. Yeah, I thought that was terrific because I guess the official like explanation of teleportation is that he passes through a different dimension.
I don't
And
know
so
if they retcon that or
kind of
not.
see that. The only reason I know that is because I started reading the Wolverine and the X-Men where he's like in charge of the school and they have those
Yeah.
little things, the BAMFs. And I was like, what the fuck are the BAMFs? And so I was trying to look that up and they were like, yeah, they go through they change dimensions briefly. They slip through it.
Yeah.
So,
I think
so
at
I was
some
like,
point,
oh, they're showing him like sliding into the dimension.
yeah, I think at some point they tried to. I think it was during. It may have been during Chuck Austin's run of X-Men, which is widely regarded as like the worst run of X-Men of all time, which is kind of hilarious. It was
I
like
can't I couldn't live with myself.
it
Can you
was,
imagine? I can imagine.
but like the idea is that, you know, oh shit, what the fuck? Oh, here we go. The idea is that, like, you know, Mystique is Nightcrawler's mom, but Nightcrawler's dad is like the devil, like the actual
Yeah,
devil.
I hate that.
Yeah, and so like he teleports through a hell dimension because he's like the son of the devil, which is why his
Yeah.
BAMFs always smell like brimstone. So like I don't know if they retcon that in particular, but I hope so. I don't want to see that
It's
as
so stupid.
yeah, it is very
Like
stupid.
when I started reading about that, I was like, you guys can have two characters that are blue. They don't have to be related.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like when they introduced Bishop and they're like, should he date Storm? And it's like, you don't have to put them together.
I'm
They
glad
don't
that
have
they
to go together.
I'm glad that they
Like-
immediately did not do that. It never did it. Like I'm
but
glad
like
for
it's
that.
like I'm like, you don't have to. They can just be blue or be two black people that
Yep.
are in the same world.
But that's
They don't have
also why I didn't like Storm and Black Panther being together.
It was because it was fake.
Yeah.
It was a retconned relationship that did not have any chemistry.
Yeah. But I mean,
Like,
when
it's-
this
it was
teleportation
dumb.
scene happened, when I watched it the first
It was
time in
cool
real
as shit.
time,
Yeah.
I had no fucking clue what was happening. I was so confused. I was like, "What is this? Like, is he tripping or something?" And then once after, when they landed on the rooftop and they were someplace new, I was like, "Oh, that was them teleporting." Like, it was such a cool experience to like just out of nowhere, because there was no exposition for it. There was no
Yeah.
setup.
No.
It just happened, and the look on Wolverine's face says it all. Like, that was the look
Yeah.
on my face too. I was like, what the fuck?
It was very good. I'm excited that they changed the intro and Storm is back to the original costume, which is my favorite, honestly.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the OG costume. They changed it in the intro and I was like, hell yeah.
Which suits do you
I
prefer
really
more?
like
Right
it.
here.
I think though that like this kind of return, the return for me for Rogue's costume, I was like, oh, she's back in the villain costume.
That
Because
is
that's like
her
that
villain
was
costume.
Yeah, it was like that's what she
But-
was wearing when she met the X-Men.
In fairness, that was her costume for a while in the X-Men too. So
I
know.
prefer her like that like Jim Lee costume. on her 100%.
Me too.
But to me, like, that costume on her in this last episode signaled the turn.
One thing
to
I
Magneto.
find kind of funny is that in this show, Mystique's just a toxic mom, so no one cares what she's doing. That is true. In the Fox movies, she's like the most important person in the universe, but in the show, she's just like a real shitty mom. You know, and it's always about how bad of a mom she
They
is.
put way too, like, whatever they retconned for Mystique is so lame. Like, I was reading it one time on Wikipedia and I was like, you guys went too far. Like, this
Wait,
is
what did
dumb.
they retcon?
Well, it was like the thing where, like, she's Nightcrawler's mom. She's like hundreds of years old, her and Irene.
Oh yeah.
And like she's lived for like hundreds of thousands of years or something, and I'm just like, come on. And then I started reading Dead X-Men or whatever. X-Men something, and it's like her and Irene, and I don't know what's happening at all.
You know, some characters don't have to be super deep and overdeveloped. Some characters can just exist as themselves.
Just let her. And she was like a full-on, just like conflicted villain.
Yeah.
A full-on conflicted villain.
Yeah.
And it was like during the Mutant Massacre era where they were like fucking the feds, but she was still like concerned about Rogue, concerned about Destiny.
Yeah.
Because that's her wife. Like, that was great. Like, Mystique is a conflicted villain because she is a villain, like, to me.
Yeah.
Like, she's a great villain, but like to have her be in conflict like that personally, where like, yeah, she does bad shit, but like there are still people she cares about, and that's important to her. And so you can see this kind of like, oh shit, kind of like when, not the same, but when, you know, Storm is fighting these Sentinels.
I am
and,
day
like,
drunk. Get ready to see my dick. What's up, Jack?
Hey, Bianca, welcome back to the stream.
Hey, Bianca. But like, Storm is out fighting the Sentinels. Forge is in the Blackbird and gets hit, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And then like that's the moment where like the Sentinels can come in and like take her out. And it's things like that that like give it the human element. And so I like Mystique as like a conflicted villain, but a villain nonetheless.
Yeah.
Not like an anti-hero, not like Magneto. I'm not on her side. I like that, like,
Sometimes you just need a good villain.
yeah. And the thing with X-Men that makes me insane is that they're always trying to like bring those villains into the ranks of the X-Men, and I don't care. I don't want them to be in the ranks of the X-Men. I want them to be bad guys.
That's probably what I dislike about the Krakoa era X-Men, is that like all of a sudden they're all just like on the same side. It's like Apocalypse is hanging out with Sinister, is hanging out with Cable, is hanging out with... It's like, why are all these motherfuckers just hanging out? Like, this doesn't make any sense. This makes zero sense. You know? As far as I know, they got rid of the Devil being Nightcrawler's mom. Oh yeah, that's right. Like there was a whole weird thing about... Because like, I guess it was originally it was supposed to be Mystique and Destiny having Nightcrawler as a kid, but then they didn't want to do the whole gender fluid Mystique thing as Mystique as the father or whatever, which ironically would be more acceptable now, I guess, socially than it would have been in whatever the 70s. I think
that was the problem, was that like they could not, like, that they were designed to be together, and that it was always like a no, you can't.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, she can't be in this, you know, perfectly normal relationship with a woman, although she could morph into a dude. So we'll just hook her up with the devil.
Yeah, dumb as hell. But I will say this, I think that probably, I don't know if this would be the same because I'm not caught up on any X-Men anything. So like even this was like something I read from Wikipedia. But in biblical esotericism, the reason that angels could impregnate humans is because they could assume whatever genitalia they needed to. So they could have sex with a man as a woman, hold the sperm, and then have sex with a woman as a man and ejaculate the sperm. And that's how you get angel sex.
Is that
I don't know how that necessarily turns your, like, maybe being inside of an angel
Is that
turns
how
your
the-
sperm angelic?
is that how the Titans? Is it the Titans or the Seraphim?
Yeah, that's the Titans.
The Titans.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
That's according to my Old Testament professor, Neil Walls.
Is Rogue going to Alaska? I don't know. I'll call her and ask, I guess.
Hello, Rogue.
Does she go to Alaska in the comic? I can't recall. Glad they were doing what Chris Claremont wanted originally. Though Iceman was definitely a miss. How do you do that so badly? Iceman. I don't know exactly what you're referring to, Bianca. But, what do you think about the costumes? Like, which do you prefer? Cyclops' new or his OG?
I like the Gimli.
The Gimli one?
I don't like that. Yeah,
I dressed up as this one for Halloween one year.
I remember. Yeah.
Everyone thought I was Frozone.
I like the little fun
strap?
straps of the 90s. Yeah.
I think I like his hair exposed more than the bald cap.
Yeah, let his hair be free.
And you say
That'd be
you like
free.
Rogue's 90s one more.
Yeah, 100%.
assuming you like-
I want that. I want her in that costume all the time, constantly.
Okay.
I do not want any other one.
And I'm assuming you want Storm's OG.
OG Storm costume for me.
What about Jean?
It's like, I like her in the green because I think it suits her more, but I like the 90s one too.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's definitely more nostalgia
I
for
don't
me
think she
with
has
this one.
like a terrific one.
She's never had
If
good
that makes
outfits.
sense. Like a really good, where I'm like, oh yeah, maybe when she had the like green Phoenix, like
With the sash, that was her best outfit. Everything else,
probably
I'm kind of meh.
it's not great.
What about Wolverine?
I like the brown, but
I like the brown too.
I like the brown, but also I don't care. Like it's like the blue and the yellow, and then the brown, like just slightly more. I like it, but I like them both. What do you think about Magneto's costume, though? Which of Magneto's looks do you like the best? 'Cause I like the large M, even though it's kind of corny.
The large M, I mean, the large M is sassy because he has his shoulders out, he's sleeveless, like he's got broad shoulders, so it has like a real, like almost like a daddy kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, okay, I
Yeah.
get that, you know. And then this other one is just his classic all red with the helmet. And, you know, I was never super huge on that outfit. I think I probably prefer the M one more.
I like the M one. I also like when he's in his little like robe or whatever. Like little Hugh Hefner
His little
satin robe Magneto. Yeah, I'm into that.
Cyclops with the
He's
hair out
good.
is always better. I think so too.
Yeah. It's a better look for him.
Rogue without the jacket feels wrong to me.
I really like her in the jacket. Her little leather jacket. I think it's odd that they made it green, but maybe it's just for animating. I don't know.
She was rocking Gambit's trench coat.
Yeah, over the villain costume for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Jean Grey has ever had a good costume.
Yeah, and this is this costume that Cable is wearing is more of a it's I can't remember when in the comics he got that outfit, but it was much later, I believe. It may have been
I think you're right. I think it's like post.
It may have been after the Age of Apocalypse, but
I want to say you're correct.
It was interesting though that he gets this outfit given to him by Cyclops, and it has the X-Men strap the way that his old costume. It's almost like he's like, I'm not gonna wear this yellow strap anymore. I'm just gonna give it to Cable. But this scene was pretty cool though. In the last episode, Like, it's the first time in any X-Men property that's outside, actually any X-Men property outside of the comics, the original series or Deadpool or anything else, when you actually get to see Cable use his mutant power, and like he's the most powerful telepath on the planet.
I didn't even know what his mutant power was.
He's
at all.
He's an insanely powerful telepath, like the most powerful one to ever exist. You know, which is why Sinister created him. Sinister knew that matching the Summers genes with Jean Grey's genes would create like an incredibly powerful next level mutant. Like, it's the whole reason that he exists. And you get to see now, I don't know how familiar you are with Nate Gray.
X-Man?
Yes.
Not very.
So Nate Gray,
I stopped reading around then, I think, because that was around Onslaught, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had stopped reading around Onslaught.
So yeah, he was actually his first appearance was in Age of Apocalypse. He's the Age of Apocalypse version of Cable.
That's right.
So,
he is the Age of Apocalypse version of Cable. Yeah, I think Age of Apocalypse also, like, I remember them coming out, but I don't know what it was, because I was like, I didn't know if I was like, do I want to read these because they're only 4 issues? I think I was like reading them in the store. Like, I was not buying them. I think I was like in Walmart and like at the gas station, like, do I want to pick this up?
I was reading them religiously when it came out. I was all about the Age of Apocalypse. Bianca says, I hate the cap, but she loves your robe or robe-like shirt.
It's a robe.
It's a robe, okay.
It was a gift. Thank you.
It is shiny.
It is shiny.
But
I had a red one too, but I thought I would go with pink today.
It looks good. Pink probably works better on the camera.
Oh, maybe.
But so I mentioned Nate Gray because Nate in the Age of Apocalypse does not get infected with the techno-organic virus, so he doesn't have like all the metal shit on him that Cable has. Because Cable has that infection, he ends up using his powers to keep it from taking over his body. So he's never able to exercise his power to its fullest extent. He's always nerfed. He's like perma-nerfed because of the techno-virus. But Nate Gray, who does come over into the mainline universe after Age of Apocalypse, he doesn't have that holding him back. So he's just a crazy fucking powerful, unrelenting mutant. And you get a little peek of that from this scene, which I thought was really cool to see.
Someone pointed out, it wasn't me, because I wasn't thinking that hard, but someone pointed out that, do you think that it was a tactical error on Scott Summers' part to not be there because he is the only person who Mr. Sinister is vulnerable against, or are they just not familiar that Mr. Sinister is there and they just think they're going up against Bastion?
Did Val Cooper tell them that Sinister was working with Bastion?
I don't remember.
I don't recall either. Like, if I don't know if they knew Sinister would be there.
Yeah.
And in that respects, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't be there. But at the same time, it just seems like Cyclops would have been on the same team as Xavier. Like,
that's fair.
Because, he can't fight.
Yeah.
So, he seems like
can't.
Yeah. It's really the tactical error.
And I guess because
getting
like
Wolverine on that team. It's like we're fighting
separating
Magnet
your
Man.
telepaths. Like, you don't need both of them. You don't need Charles and Jean. They can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, put one telepath on one team and one on the other.
Yeah, I thought the team makeup was pretty lousy.
It was gold and blue, right? But was Jean on gold team?
She was. It was a different...
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
Oh, okay.
But gold team also had Bishop, and it had Archangel. And who was gold team? It was Storm, Jean, Bishop, Archangel, and Iceman, I believe. so they had more, like, this gold team here, like, it had Beast, who just, essentially punches and kicks, and it had Morph, who morphs into the Hulk, but he exhibits Hulk-like strength because of Jean's powers. She basically telekinetically flings him around like a tennis ball or whatever, and that's how he's smashing through Sentinels. But I'm watching that and I'm like, this seems like a flaw in their plan, because now you need 2 mutants to attack with the ferocity of 1, because Jean is focused on using Morph as a weapon, when you could have just had Jean do that with a boulder, and you could have just given Morph a gun. It's like, just give Morph a gun. Yeah. Like, why is he flinging himself around like this?
Colossus was also on gold team.
Colossus was on gold team as well.
Colossus was on gold team, and then on the other half, Psylocke and Gambit were on blue.
Yes.
With Rogue, Cyclops, and Beast.
And Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue team was my favorite. But
of course it was.
Well, I mean, it had all the characters I liked. It had Cyclops, it had Wolverine, it had Gambit, it had Nightcrawler was an Excalibur at this time, so he wasn't even involved with X-Men, which was a bummer.
Yeah, I love that little guy. I'm so glad he's in this little show. He's such a good time. I was expecting, and it did not, and I'm not complaining, but there are 2 scenes basically in the comics where Wolverine gets this adamantium pulled out, and the one is in the X-Men comic where it actually happens, and then there is a replay of it in Wolverine 75, because Jean and Professor X are inside Wolverine's mind trying to help him, like, not die, basically, like trying to hold his psychic, like, being together and tell him not to, like,
which is
go towards death, basically, because he's like, I want to go, let me go.
It's my favorite X-Men comic of all time. That
so
issue
good.
of Wolverine is so good.
It's terrific. And because I'm so familiar with Wolverine number 75, because I think it was one of the first X-Men comics I ever had, was Wolverine number 75. And I'm so familiar with it that, like, when that scene happened, I was expecting that, like, shot of him, but it was different.
It was pretty similar.
And people were like
this one right here?
No, the one from 75. And what's funny is, like, I looked at them, compared them today, and that one from X-Men, he's wearing that blue costume, and in Wolverine 75, he's wearing the brown costume when it's in his mind.
Oh, you mean what it looks like in his mind's view?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to find it.
I think I can send it to you. Like, I could probably text it to you. Yeah, that's it.
This one
That's
right
what
here?
That's what I was anticipating. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Well,
and people were shocked that they showed it, which I was surprised that people were shocked about it.
Why were they shocked?
They were like, I can't believe they showed that.
I mean,
I don't know why.
I guess it's
Well, you think they're gonna, like, not show it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe because, like, it's a violent, traumatic event, maybe people thought that it wasn't gonna be shown, but I mean, it's an icon. It's one of the most iconic images in the history of X-Men. Like, this was a huge moment. Like, I remember when this. Have you read all of Fatal Attractions yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember when Fatal Attractions first came out. Like, there was a real, like, it was different from a lot of other X-Men story arcs because, like, there was kind of like a darkness to it. There was a real foreboding sort of vibe to it, and I never really, even when I go back and reread it, I don't really understand why it feels that way. Like, other X-Men story arcs feels like it's a more fast-paced adventure, like big action pieces are happening here and there, and, like, you understand what the motivation is, like, you know, Cyclops and Jean Grey are kidnapped, or, you know, Cameron Hodges is running wild as a phalanx on Genosha or whatever. You know, you understand what it is, but for Fatal Attractions, it seemed more ominous because it was like, you know, Magneto had fallen into his savior complex. You know, he believed himself to be the savior of mutants and was just going like full steam ahead on, I'm going to commit a human genocide, you know?
Well, the thing too is like, and that's what also you're kind of getting in this show is that like Magneto has had it.
Yeah.
Like he's done. And so when you look at something like Magneto disturbing the magnetic force of the fucking Earth, like of the planet, like at that point, you should be like, this man is not holding back anymore. Like you should know better a little bit, Logan. But because he's never done that. He's never been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like pull this out of you. Like, but like, and I think at that point, like everyone was like, holy shit, like this guy has been holding back.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's funny how they get there though, because in the comics, it's different than what it is in the cartoon. In the comics, they think that Magneto's dead because, you know, he fell from asteroid M, and they didn't know what his whereabouts were, so they just assumed he was dead. And then all of that shit happened with Executioner's song, and then the Legacy virus gets out, and all of that. And Magneto's just been kind of healing and observing from asteroid M or wherever he was at. And he decides after Illyana dies, because, you know, she was a student of his when he was the leader of the New Mutants.
Yeah, he was the leader of the New Mutants.
Yeah, so he decides that now is the time. You know, he has Exodus recruiting mutants for him and shit. And, you know,
doesn't he show up at her funeral and it's like a huge stink?
That's what he makes his presence known to the X-Men. They thought he was dead until he shows up at the funeral. And when he shows up, he's already clearly kind of lost his mind. You know, he's speaking in turn. He's speaking in a way and is exhibiting like this certainty of saviordom that makes the X-Men realize, okay, this is for real now. He needs to be stopped. He's telling us in some days' time, I'm going to destroy all the humans, and it's pretty clear that, you know, he means it this time. So that's when Xavier reveals the Magneto protocols, and he doesn't want to do it, but he knows what he needs to do. He makes himself a part of the away team with the exoskeleton legs. Like, everybody knows that he's planning to do something fucked up, but like they don't really quite know what it is. They just know that they need to get on Avalon to find him and stop him. So like there's this whole vibe of, oh man, Magneto is you know. And then when this scene happens, that's when you realize, oh, this changes everything, because everything we've ever known about Wolverine was unbreakable bones, but you know, Magneto is the
Not
one
anymore.
Yeah, he's the one guy that can get around it. It kind of is weird that he never did it before, but now that we see it, it's like, okay, this is it. Like, the most dangerous X-Man ever has been neutralized ostensibly for good. And it was an oh shit moment. In the cartoon,
and they made it a kind of double oh shit moment of like Wolverine stabbing him. And being like, buddy, that's it, end of the line. And Magneto's like, you thought. Hit him with the reverse Uno.
He penetrated his body, like the claws came out the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know how Magneto is still standing after that, honestly. But in the cartoon, what happens is Genosha happens, thousands of mutants die, Magneto's kidnapped, and Bastion reveals, I guess, his plan to him. A bunch of secret human sentinels are activated and just go on a rampage. And then when Magneto is freed, he just unleashes a crazy EMP wave across the planet, which deactivates all the human sentinels. You know? But then for some reason, the X-Men are like, Magneto declared war on Earth. And it's like, motherfuckers, did you not see what was just happening? Like, I don't think Magneto declared war. I think he stopped a second genocide. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So, like, in this, you're way more sympathetic to Magneto than you were in the comic. And it's like, why are you guys fighting against him so hard?
Yeah.
That's
very...
My vibe, at least.
No, I think you're right. For sure. I just think that it's like a very weird moment. And it's kind of like a little opposite energy, because instead of like thinking that Magneto was dead, you think Professor X is dead.
Yeah. They did the switch up
and
there.
So, yeah, that's the surprise there.
Genetic Memory Farms, good evening, good peeps. I hope you're all safe and stoned. Now that the series is finished, I will binge X-Men 97 next time. I have plans to cut and trim. Cool, this ought to be a good stream. Poppy is back, sweet. Welcome back to the stream, Genetic Memory Farms. And you have a fan, Poppy.
Oh, nice.
But X-Men 97 isn't over yet. There's one more episode.
I know. I appreciate hearing Val Cooper say Magneto was right. Val Cooper has switched teams a little bit.
I told you Val Cooper wasn't bad.
She is like, listen. I still can't trust her. But it's validating. Sorry, I'm looking through the trade for.
Oh, no worries. I can catch up on
Fatal
chat.
Attraction real quick.
I can catch up on chat while you're searching there. I think Magneto's a little angry about the whole seeing another genocide thing. Yes, like that drives 100%. Every facet of his character. The X-Men feel like that friend who totally doesn't like the government actively taking part in a genocide, but says that protesting is going too far. A little bit, well, kind of. Not exactly. Like, I mean, they don't want to commit a genocide of their own. They don't want to be genocided, but they don't want to commit a genocide of their own. But they don't. They're basically like weird pacifists, where it's like there's a level in which using violence is acceptable to protect yourself from somebody else using violence against you. You know, and if you don't exhibit that much, then, you know, you're probably not gonna exist for too much longer. And I think that the idea in the 90s behind the creation of X-Force, when Cable took the New Mutants and created his own X-Men team out of them, is that X-Force teaches the path of mutant liberation that aren't pacifist. Like, they are willing to fight. They are willing to you know, use violent means to advance their cause, which has always put them at odds with Xavier's teachings and whatnot. But that's kind of where the philosophy of X-Force versus X-Men come from. I agree with Magneto.
I forgot
Humans
that,
are the infection on Earth and need to be put in check.
I forgot that in this original Fatal Attractions, like, I remembered he was there in Wolverine 75 on the Blackbird, but I forgot that they brought Quicksilver, who is Magneto's son.
Oh yeah, he was also part of that OA team. Yeah, because he when they had to load a disc or something onto Avalon, onto Avalon, he was the one that did it because he could just run past the guards. They would never know he was there.
Yeah, and then also the other thing too that's it's happening both, like, not as crazy in the show because Jean and Professor X are split up, whereas in Fatal Attractions they're together, and they're trying to like manipulate Magneto's mind in ways that like Professor X never would have considered doing before, and he's like, we have to do it, and Jean's like, it's wrong.
Yeah,
you can't just like make him relive memories of the Holocaust because you want him to stop. It's not okay. And then like,
it wasn't just that, he was planting false memories. Like,
yeah, like, he's doing all this stuff. He's like, we have to make him like relive this pain or he will not stop, and Jean's like, you can't do this. And it's the same in Wolverine 75 where Jean's like, why are we in here looking at Wolverine's mind? Are we just here like to see a show? And he's like, no, we're trying to keep him holding on. And Jean's like, it's not okay. Like, it's not cool. So there's this kind of like also segment where like Charles is like tossing the morals aside, you know, being like, well,
he does that a lot. Let's see. It'd be super weird if this was the last episode. It would be the worst cliffhanger imaginable if this was the last episode. Like, it ends with Wolverine getting the metal ripped off of him, and then see you in 2 years. Genetic Memory Farm says, people said the same about the Black Panthers. They stood up for the oppressed people when no one else would. Armed resistance was the only thing that pushed back on police brutality in some places. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. And the Black Panthers did amazing work. Like,
yeah.
The extent of the work, like, which I did not really realize, the artist who did all the illustrations for the Black Panther publications, whose name is Emery Douglas, he gave a talk at one of the libraries here, and I found out like the very last minute and got to go see him. And so that was terrific. He's still doing art, and
oh, that's awesome.
He had all these stories about like the things that the Black Panther Party achieved in terms of like community solidarity, and to think of doing that like across the nation in a time where all you had was like a long distance phone call.
Oh yeah.
It's just incredible work.
Ability to organize was pretty remarkable.
Amazing. And they did it with like all, you know, like across states, across, you know, like different, you know, like it wasn't just like the Black Panther Party or Black people. It was like, we're organizing with these Latinos in, you know, Southern California. They're calling our headquarters, and, you know, we sent someone down there to like, or sent someone to answer the phone or whatever. Like People's Free Food Program, just like they did such amazing work. And it was like, it's really something to think about in terms of like the amount of community they were able to build with like nothing, almost, you know, like compared to today where you can like reach so many people at one time. And then it like back then it was like, here, write a letter or you can make a long distance phone call.
But and to speaking to the whole point of bringing them up in this topic, they weren't afraid of, you know, defending themselves and making it known, you know, if you threaten us, we will defend ourselves, you know. And then there was a lot, you know, I mean, it was obviously it was ultimately used as justification to you know, murder a lot of their leaders, assassinate them. But yeah, I guess that's the counterpoint towards whether or not you want to support or give credence to a armed I don't know what the word is. I mean, it could be so many different words used to describe it, but it's like that old saying, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, right? So it's like, the second that you put yourself in, and that's really the arguments against it, is like the second you put yourself into a position where you're willing to use force, then you put yourself into a position where you can be demagogued as a terrorist, which was a point that the X-Men always tried to make to Cable and others who felt that violently fighting against humans was the only way. You know, it would just make them fear us even more. It would give them excuses to fund the Sentinel programs, etc., etc. So, you know.
And then
eternal debate.
So, what do you think? Do you think that we're going to see because what this is at the end of like directly after Wolverine gets this adamantium pulled out of him, Professor X wipes Magneto's mind. And that's the beginning of Onslaught. Like, that's the origin of Onslaught. But do you think he's going to do that, or do you think they're going to take a different direction?
Oh, I think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do that because like the Onslaught stuff is a slow burn in the comics. It isn't immediate, and there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that
it's totally a
happens.
slow burn.
Yeah, so they can still do a lot while seeding the Onslaught stuff in. And I don't know how many seasons this is gonna last for, but I imagine that possibly towards the end. I don't know if they're leading towards Onslaught being like the, ultimate end state, which I always thought in the comics it was. Like I still continue to believe that X-Men should have ended after Onslaught because it was the perfect ending. Who better to be the greatest adversary in the history of X-Men than Charles Xavier? So like the perfect ending, a poetic ending even. But
the thing, like, I did not care for the ending of Onslaught. I thought it was quite.
It was a little
dumb.
silly.
It was quite silly. I just think like because what happened with Onslaught is between them. It's between Magneto and Charles Xavier, and that's how it should have been resolved. Instead of flying a bunch of superheroes into an orb or some shit, whatever the fuck they did at the end of Onslaught, that was very weird and dumb.
Yeah, they it was even weirder than flying him into an orb. They all had to go inside of Onslaught's body, his psionic energy.
Yeah.
But only the humans. A mutant could not do that. Only the humans could go in there.
It was like the Fantastic Four and the Avengers or whatever.
It was just
they called and they're like, "We need your help."
It was just an in-story reason to reboot those teams because at the time no one was reading fucking Fantastic Four or Captain America. Like those guys were lame and their comics weren't selling, but everyone loved the X-Men and everyone liked Image Comics. So when they rebooted them, they brought back a lot of the Image creators who had left Marvel. Rob Liefeld did Captain America. That's where you get that iconic Captain America where his chest is like sticking out a million feet. Like that's a Rob Liefeld cover for when they rebooted Captain America after Onslaught. I forget what other Image artists partook in those reboots, but I think Iron Man was one. Hulk was one, and I think Fantastic Four, and then Cap. So it was just those four.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I hope they do. Like, I know it's not like may not be outside the scope, but this like Blackbird segment where they're flying Wolverine back to Earth is so good.
This is what makes me mad about the show's adaptation. Not having Jean Grey on the space team means we won't be able to see her on the Blackbird flying Wolverine back, so we're not gonna get that. Like they might do some.
I think they could like figure it out, but like,
well, they might do some version of it if they all get back to the X Mansion and whatnot. But it doesn't have like that. That issue was so fucking dramatic. Like
it's so intense.
What was more dramatic than Wolverine is going towards the light? He sees an angel, and it's Illyana, and he's like, "Oh, I'm ready. And then she's like, "No, you have to go back," and pushes him, and he's like, "No, don't send me back."
But like Charles Xavier is like also pulling
Charles Xavier's trying to.
It's death, and he's like, I know.
It's like,
go.
Oh, Chuck, don't you think I don't know that? It's like, God damn.
And then like also like Jean Grey is trying to hold the
Blackbird together, and she's like the Blackbird's ripping apart
out the window,
and she literally flies out the window, and Wolverine saves her, like grabs her, and it's like this
grabs her
really cool. Like I gotta find the picture of that moment because like
terrific.
To me that was everything. Like if you had any level of investment in the Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops triangle, and for whatever reason you were rooting for Wolverine, that one shot, that one panel made everything worthwhile. It was like, oh, this is I'm probably not gonna be able to find it. But there was a lot of good, and then this is also coming too. But
part of the issue, I can link you, and because I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's gonna be a little ways in. Give me one. I'm gonna put it in the Discord. I'm here on my totally legal comic book website.
Oh, I forgot that Bishop was on the plane too. Of course, he was part of that team. Bishop and Gambit. That's another thing, like killing Gambit, I get it why they did it, but now you're not gonna get, unless they bring him back as one of Apocalypse's horsemen or something, but you're not going to get the really cool dynamic between Bishop and Gambit, where they they kind of hate each other. Bishop hates Gambit more than Gambit hates Bishop. But then by the time Onslaught comes around and Bishop's the prophecy of Bishop's future is manifested, he realizes it wasn't Gambit. Like, they have such a cool relationship. Like, there's such a cool thing there. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, he's getting sucked into the light, and the Angel of Ileana comes and she pushes him away.
And he's all floppy.
He's all
He has no bones.
He's floppy.
He is. Those little fingies.
The Blackbird, as it is prone to do, is ripping apart, but Jean's using her telekinesis to hold it together. She's seeing Wolverine flatline in the reflection.
Yeah. This is so fun. And it's not even, this is like not even halfway through.
And then lightning strikes the Blackbird, and the thing rips off.
She loses the fucking hatch.
Bishop can't control it.
Pushing them back up to go to the controls.
Everyone's getting sucked out. Although, this shouldn't be that big of an issue for Rogue. She should be able to at least...
Yeah, like...
But...
Hang on.
Jean's in the door. She telekinetically pushes everyone back into the ship. She's like hanging on for dear life. Her hands slip. And then you just see like Wolverine's spirit shadow thingy moving. And he's running from death, I guess. And then right at the last second, like, he grabs her and like, he's covered in bandages and shit. His hair is all crazy. He's all ripped up. I don't know what all these tubes are. It's like Omega Red's tentacles or something.
Well, he was in the med unit. They were trying to stabilize him.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's
little
the
thing.
Oxygen or whatever, but yeah.
Terrific.
He just grabs her and like pulls her back in. And it's just such a really cool moment. Like, this was like a great moment.
And then he's like, let me in this danger room. And they're like,
well, he wanted
no way.
He wanted to see if he could still do it.
Yep. And they're like, Charles, you gotta stop. You gotta let him out of there. And he's like, no, he's gotta see. He's gotta see for himself. And he's like, I'm just getting warmed up. And then the reveal, the actual reveal of the issue.
And that was a cool shot too. That was a cool shot
terrific.
too.
It's page 67.
So like, yeah, he starts fighting, and obviously, like right off the bat, he's like slow and sluggish. He's getting the shit kicked out of him. Smacked into the wall. Like, they're trying to shut it down, but he's like refusing. And then he decides to take out his claws, but surprise, they're not metal anymore. But nobody knew. Like, nobody knew. At this point, up until here, everybody always believed that the claws were implants. That the government gave him metal claws. But
when they bonded the adamantium to his bones, they were like, oh yeah, these are here. But then suddenly, like, the reveal is that his claws are made of bone.
Yeah, apparently he's always had them. Which I don't know how I feel about the Bone Claw era of Wolverine. It gets weird.
I like a little bit of it, for sure. I like his little like Canadian hero's journey. I like the confrontation. I think in Wolverine, either 76 or 77 with Lady Deathstrike, and she's like coming for his ass, and then he's like, these are bone, and she's like, well, I don't gotta fight you anymore. See ya.
she like it's like she had a grudge specifically for the adamantium. It's like, okay, you don't got that anymore. I guess we're done.
Bye. Like after wrecking Alpha Flight's fucking house.
Yeah.
She's like, see ya, and they're like, well, what the fuck, man?
Genetic memory farms, and we may reach that point again in the environmental movement, or even now some LGBTQ groups are arming out of a sense of protection. Second Amendment applies, is supposed to be for everyone. Give credit to the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. John Lewis said we need to get into good trouble. Well, I mean, I agree with good trouble, but I also agree with protecting yourself if you need to.
I really like, and I don't think I appreciated it when I was younger as much, but like on page 71 where he's talking to Jubilee, he's patting himself looking for his lighter.
Yeah.
And like the gesture of it is so like perfect. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly how a person is like looking
searching
for the
for
place
their
where
lighter.
they normally put their lighter. Is like, is it here in my shirt? Is it in my back pocket? Jubilee, you got a light?
Yeah, and then like he leaves her that letter saying he has to go on his own journey.
And he leaves letters for Jean and Professor X because their wedding happens like shortly after this, right?
Their wedding? No, they were
Cyclops and Jean Grey's wedding. Yeah.
No, that was before.
It's
I'm
Is
pretty certain that was.
It's X-Men 25. Right? New X-Men 25. I feel like there's a.
Oh, you
she's
might be
reading a letter
wait,
from
hold
Wolverine.
on. Yeah, you might be right. X-Men 25. What issue was Fatal Attraction? The X-Men Fatal Attraction that he gets his adamantium ripped out on.
I want to say that's a like 100 issue because it's Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, that was Uncanny. I don't know what issue of X-Men then they were on during Fatal Attractions.
I don't either. But I can tell you. Give me 1 second.
Oh man, deep into X-Men lore here.
Because he's not at their wedding. I don't think.
I don't think he was at the
Maybe
wedding.
He might be in the trees and like Sabretooth can smell him or something. Or like Sabretooth is there and he's like, do not.
Yeah,
So
I
he might
do.
be
Yeah,
there
you're
from
right,
afar.
actually. Yeah, you are right. Because Sabretooth was a prisoner there. He was he was held prisoner.
Yeah, X-Men 25, I guess, is like the very end. Yeah, of Fatal Attractions. It does have X-Men 25.
Interesting.
I'm not sure where.
My timeline on all of that is kind of screwed up.
Because I remember like it was such a big deal. Like to be like, the Cyclops and Jean Grey are getting married. I gotta get this issue.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
collector's edition.
Again, if you had any level of investment in the love triangle there, like these were all a big deal. I mean, this was what X-Men was all about. It was just drama. It was just the messy drama of a reality show starring mutants. Yeah, and I was there for it.
Also, I feel like in Fatal Attractions, they reduced Cable to a pile of gears. I feel like they totally did that.
He gets fucked up. It
looks terrible. Like when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, ain't no way that guy is fucking dead as shit."
I can't remember. You know, my memory on all of that is hazy. Because obviously he comes back, but I can't remember how.
Yeah, I just don't remember either because I never really was like that into X-Force.
I was into X-Force for a while, but I fell out of it somewhere around Fatal Attractions. So I don't know how they actually brought him back. So we have one more episode left, and
yeah,
I don't know. I should have been keeping track of my predictions. I don't know how I'm doing on my predictions. I know I got the Mutant Massacre Genosha thing right, but I don't think I'm gonna get. Clearly, I'm not gonna. I wasn't right on my schism. Cyclops has not taken the heel turn yet. He seemed like he was on his way there, but he has not taken his heel turn just yet. Although he did shoot Xavier with a blast to stop him from wiping Magneto. But I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna end.
it's probably just gonna. I would say that, like, just like it ends with, Professor X is gonna wipe his mind. Rogue is going to stay instead of Colossus to nurse him back to health. I don't know what's gonna happen with the storyline with Bastion because I'm not like.
I don't
The
care
only
about
familiarity
Bastion.
I have with him is when he, like, there's a Generation X episode where he kidnapped Jubilee. And so that's my only familiarity with him. I'm trying to find this panel of like Cable being super fucked up.
The only
Because I just remember it being crazy.
I literally stopped reading X-Men as soon as Bastion showed up. Like, Bastion showed up, I read a couple of, I think it was called Operation Zero Tolerance, is what that story arc was. I read a couple issues, and I was like, I'm not into this. And then, I guess I just kind of walked away from X-Men at that point. But, I peeked my head every now and then just to see what they were up to. I missed out on the Trial of Gambit, which is actually, like, interesting. But at that point, I was just done with X-Men.
So this link I sent you is page 40, and then on page 41, there's this just like Roberto looking at this like Cable.
Oh, I remember this
basically.
panel. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and so like, and like on the last page, like Thunderbird is just carrying this hunk of ears, basically, in the shape of a person.
Yeah, Magneto was. Yeah, there it is. Magneto was wildly out of pocket during Fatal Attractions. He was genocidal and just fucking everybody up. He fucked up Cable. He fucked up Wolverine. He just didn't give any fucks anymore about anything.
None.
Yeah, I do remember this. I don't remember anything else around it, but I definitely remember seeing this as a kid and being like, "Oh my god, he killed Cable."
Yeah, I was like, this guy is dead as shit. Like, when I saw that, I was like, how are you coming back from that?
Yeah.
Like, look at him.
Well, he came back somehow, so kudos to him for his resilience.
There's a page, like, I went to that's X-Force 25, and I went to X-Force 26, and, like, on the first page, there's someone who's like, did he come with a warranty? You're like, damn, it's cold-blooded.
Dungeons and Dragons advertisement. Well, it looks like they're piecing them back together, though, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like... This part with, like, Magneto standing over him, and he's just, like, the eyeball is popping out, and there's, like, a pool of oil on the floor.
Now, is that oil, or is that blood?
It's brown.
Is it brown? I can't.
I don't know if they like colored it wrong. They did not. They were not great at coloring. This is issue 25, page 40. Yeah, he looks insane. I think it's that like, not like the big panel of like Magneto pulling him apart, but like the next panel where he's standing over him. I was like, oh, buddy, that's it. Like,
he's just kind of like gloating. Almost. Yeah,
he's a pile of parts. And he's wrecked. And I think what's also cool about that though is like you see how little of his body is human.
Yeah, you never really see what his like legs and shit look like underneath, the skin, I guess. Or the metal.
I mean, he only has like, I guess like the right hand half of his body is flesh, and the left hand is just machine.
Yeah, I mean,
according to this, yeah, he looks mad crazy.
But then that's why he can't be a telepath at the level that Nate Gray can be a telepath at, because his body is more machine than man now, to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I think that's it for our X-Men 97 discussion. We got one more episode, and I can't make any predictions. I have no clue what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm excited for it though. It's been like it's been pretty good. I think I feel good about it. I'm looking forward to
I feel good
seeing
about it.
what happens.
I just wish they could just do 20 episodes. Like,
Yeah,
stop rushing this shit. Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
it just feels like their intention is to hit all of the major moments in the X-Men story arcs without
as quickly as possible.
Yeah, without any of like the character building and all of that happens in between. It's kind of annoying, but it's still good. Still a good show.
I like how I spent so much time today. Not like a ton, but like more than I would have liked. Trying to get, like, for a while my iCloud storage was full, and so I was trying to figure out how to fix that. Like,
Yeah.
because the way Apple does this very dumb thing where if you're like, stop syncing my desktop files to iCloud, they're like, oh, you want to delete these? We'll delete these, and then anything new you put on your desktop will no longer sync. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to do. So I had to like look up all this stuff, and then finally I just made a new folder somewhere else and moved the things that were taking up a lot of space that were on my desktop that were filling up my storage into a different folder that was not synced, and that solved the problem without deleting anything. But I still get an email at 9:04 p.m. telling me my iCloud storage is full, which it no longer is.
So you've been dealing with file management. That's been your day.
Yeah, my evening. Because I was like, not that like I cared too much, but I was just tired of like getting notifications. It's like, your storage is full. Your storage is full. Your storage is full.
No, I mean I'm just as annoyed by that shit as you are, but rather than solve the problem, I just ignore it.
Yeah, some people, but I'm like, let me just take care of this real quick.
Lulu, welcome back to the stream. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Lulu.
All right, so what else have you been up to?
I finished my class, which ended in despair.
Yeah, I saw you post something about that, about your paper.
Yeah, it did not. It didn't. He did not. My professor did not like it. It was the first sermon I ever wrote. He did not care for it. He was like, "It's not good. You were more." He was like, "You were more convincing in the discussions, the weekly discussion boards." And I was just like, and my friend was like, "Can you ask him to rewrite it?" And I'm like, "I don't even know that I could do better. I don't know if I had a redo that I could do a better job. And furthermore, like, I don't want to rewrite." Do I want a better grade? Yeah, I wanted a good grade in this class, and that tanked my grade a little bit. Like, it brought me down to an 89 for the class. So it was 35% of my grade. I got a 75 on it. But do I want to rewrite it? No. It's done. And it's one of those things that's like, it sucks, but like, am I gonna beg for a grade? I've only ever done that like once. And the only reason I've ever like, the one time I did it is because I was in an art history class and we only had 3 grades in the whole class. It was like a test, a second test, and your participation. So I bombed one of the tests, and I was like, dude, you gotta let me do something. Like, please, let me make this up. Because, like, yeah, well, I was like, I had gotten like a really bad cold or something, like right before the test, and so I couldn't really study for it. I was just sick. And I went in, and I think like I also was mistaken in terms of like, I thought we didn't have to know the dates, and we did, or something like that, so I had never memorized the dates. And so I wound up like writing a paper about the Book of Kells or something instead to like bring my grade back up, because otherwise that would have like super tanked my grade to like fail a test when you have 3 grades in a whole class.
Yeah.
And that hurt my pride a little bit, because I don't like to do that. I don't like to be like, please, can I just
Yeah.
I don't like that. I was such a good student in college. So it's like, but you know, it is what it is. Like,
I mean,
part of me too is like, the first sermon is not going to be perfect. It's the first sermon.
yeah.
I've never written a sermon before.
That was your first one.
So, yeah, that was my first sermon. So like,
yeah. Well, then you know what? Not bad. Not bad for your first one.
Yeah. Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
I'm sure. Yeah, like I'm sure no one does it perfectly. Maybe someone does it perfectly the first time, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And I think I finally gotten to the point where like I'm can accept that. It's a bummer, but like,
yeah,
I can be like, well, you've never done that before.
Do you intend to do it again? Are you going to be a sermon
person?
person?
And I'm going to have to do it again. So it's just like the next time will hopefully be better.
Yeah.
But you know, like, what can you do? Like, I tried to get it all in there, but it's something where like, you know, when you're thinking about it, when you think about like preparing a sermon versus like writing a paper, like a paper is you're reading it, but like when I'm trying to write something that's like in my mind, I'm like, I'm writing a sermon. So to me, I'm writing it the way I would say it to people. And so that's a different thing too. Like it's not going to be,
it's more, it's communicative in a different manner than it would be if it was like writing a technical paper or a brief or something like that.
Yeah. So I think that like, maybe I got also anxious about it because it was the first time I ever did it. So it's just, you know, like a learning curve, and it's fine.
I wouldn't
I'll get there.
I wouldn't give yourself too much of a hard time over it.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be like, there's like one of my favorite books from when I was a kid. There's a little quote in there where he's like, the 2 main characters are talking, and she's like, oh, that was so terrible, and he's like, stop thinking about it, and she's like, I can't just stop thinking about it, and he's like, but eventually you will stop thinking about it, so just stop thinking about it now.
I get the idea behind it, but yeah, that's kind of a funny way of putting it.
So I'm trying to be like, well, one day you won't think about this at all, so just stop thinking about it.
All right. Well, you know what? In the interest of not thinking about it anymore, how about we change the topic here?
What I did do was I read a book from the Amazon First Reads, and that took my mind off of it. So
nice.
And it was actually based. It's a novel, but it was based
Oops
on the
Demon?
Slender Man stabbing.
Did you read Oops Demon?
I did not read Oops Demon. Did we talk about that?
Of course we talked about it.
Demon? Yeah, we did. I read it's called In a Dark Mirror, and it's based on the real life Slender Man stabbings, but it's a novel.
A Dark Mirror by Kat Davis.
Yeah. It was okay. It was the Amazon Prime First Reads, so that's why I got it.
Okay.
Because I was following those children who stabbed that other child.
Interesting.
When that was happening, and it was interesting, but also it was, I don't know like the author's motivations for writing this, and so I don't know if she was trying to be respectful because it's based on a real life events of real children who are now adults. But I feel like she could have taken it in either like more of a occult direction, or she could have taken it in more of a like crazies on the internet direction, and she at the end did not. It kind of fizzled out for me personally, but
so it just seemed more like a dry
it wasn't dry, it was just like it was very like, it was realistic in that like there's a little plot twist, and then it kind of untwists, and then the ending is just very like something that would happen in real life, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like dramatic or satisfying. It's just like, yeah,
I mean,
that's
that
what
is
would happen.
that is real life, not dramatic or satisfying.
Yeah,
That
and
could be
so
like the description of life.
Yeah,
not dramatic
exactly.
or satisfying.
Not dramatic or satisfying. Like a bit of drama, and then you're like, well, back to this shit. You know what I mean? Like, time to hit that old dusty road, and you're like, okay, but is Slender Man real? Like, you're sitting there like. So I think she could have either leaned into like Slender Man is real. She doesn't call him Slender Man, by the way. He's just referred to as him.
Okay.
Which is creepy and cool. I was wondering that too. But so there's, and then it's also like, because when this happened, there was one girl who was like the equivalent ringleader, right? She was like, we gotta bring him over to the real plane, and to do that we have to sacrifice someone. So that's why they stabbed this girl at a sleepover. The other girl is just kind of like along. She's like and so the main character is the other girl, the one who's just like the BFF, and she's like, oh, I guess it's not cool, but I'll do it with you. And so she gets released from the mental hospital, and she's like trying to find a job. She's back living with her mom and her mom's new shitty husband, and it's very realistic in that sense. And I wish they had either leaned more into Slender Man as real, and that would have been cool if it was like, well, I'm out of the mental institution, time to get my job, even though like this is a really bad spot on my background check. And then like if you like suddenly you're seeing fucking Slender Man and shit, you'd be like, am I fucking crazy? I can't tell anyone I'm seeing Slender Man, they'll put me back in the hospital. That would have been an angle.
That's kind of like it. That's kind of like what it was like.
Yeah. That would have been cool. And then alternately, there's what they talk about is that there's a website that someone runs that's like a fan site for them.
Yeah.
And they're for Slender Man, and they're like, these girls are, and they call the girls the founders, and they're like, well, it didn't work the first time because they didn't kill that girl, so we need a sacrifice to like bring him over to the world. And so she's following this like website, and if they'd lean more into these crazy people on the internet instead of like the plot twist being what it was, that would have been also interesting. But instead it's just like, and then she took her money that her grandmother willed her and took the bus to a different state. The end.
Okay, fair enough.
So it was not bad, and it's interspersed with like the current day and then flashbacks to like when they were kids, when they were like 12. And it's cool. And the one girl who like says she can see him and stuff like that is like, I feel like those are very creepy little like segments where there's one part where he's like, you know what you gotta do, and she's like, I'm not gonna kill somebody. And then the punishment for her telling Slender Man she's not gonna kill somebody is when she looks at people's faces, they're blurred. She can't see their like features, and I'm like, ooh, that's good. Like, that's creepy and crazy, but like it just like, I just felt like she was holding back, and maybe she was holding back because this is based on real people, and I could understand that, like being like,
who are the real people it's based off of?
I think just look up like Slender Man stabbings, and it's these children, and that's what happened. Is like, the one girl thought Slender Man was real. She was like, we have to make a sacrifice to Slender Man, a human sacrifice, so that he can become like corporeal in our world, and he'll take us away from this. And they stabbed some girl, and she survived, like barely. And they sent one of them, I think they sentenced them both like to different things, but
I'll have to look that up, see what it was all about. I'm only familiar with Slender Man as a meme.
They were hang on.
Genetic
I
Memory
wrote
Farms.
about it.
Let me catch up on chat real quick.
Yeah.
Genetic Memory Farms, can I ask an off-topic question? Florida question for Poppy.
Yeah.
Specifically, how she feels about the current referendums. 1, partisan school board elections. 2, oh geez, this is like he wants deep analysis from you. 1, partisan school board elections. 2, right to fish and hunt. 3, recreational weed.
I haven't been keeping up, honestly.
Referendums. Are these things that you guys are going to be voting on sometime soon?
I
Oh, wait,
think
he has
so.
more. 4, right to an abortion. 5, homesteading tax break. 6, repeal public financing for elections.
I do remember helping to get abortion on the ballot. Like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think I talked about this with you, which was that for a little while, I could not go anywhere without someone having a petition for me to
Yeah.
help put abortion on the ballot. And I had already signed, and they had like had it so that like you could sign twice, and that was great. And I and then the other, like, they would also put medical marijuana on the ballot, but I'm not 100% like keeping up, just because the only way that I see those things is on Twitter, because I follow the representative for Orange County because she's Iranian.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Anna Eskamani. She's like the first Iranian in the House of Representatives, I think. And so I follow her, and but she's not my rep because she's in Orlando. But it's cool to see those things. And she's very anti Ron DeSantis. So that's
At this
nice.
point, it's
But,
shocking
like,
that there isn't that there's anybody that is like pro Ron DeSantis at this point.
it's crazy to me. Like, it's nuts. Anyway. But yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm in the Fort Lauderdale area. But yeah, and so I went, like, I think I told you, because last week you were like, oh, do you want to do the stream? And I'm like, I had to get up really early on Saturday and drive to Miami.
Yeah.
And so I got up really early and drove to Miami, and the reason was because I wanted to get a consultation with a priest, like, who would do Ifa divination for me.
Do what?
And he would do Ifa divination for me, which is like a divination system that is like it's hard to explain. It's something where you do it with like either shells or with a chain, and both of those things will have a front and a back. So depending on how it falls when you pray, and like he'll pray over it, he'll ask you to like say a quiet or silent prayer, and then throw the chain or the shells, and then based on the combination that comes up, it relates to one of 256 what's called an Odu. And so he tells you the Odu, interprets the Odu, so then it's like, this is what you should do and this is what you should not do. And so during that divination, he said, you should not get into situations where you will get angry and argue. It's not good for you. And I was like, I cannot be on twitter.com.
I mean, I feel like that's common information for everyone in this day and age. Like, stop arguing with people, which is, I don't follow that creed. I argue with people often, but yeah, that just seems like maybe.
I will say though that, like, honestly, because he's right, and I know that's right, but like the what was I gonna say? Like, I never realized how willing I was to put myself into situations where I could get angry and argue, or argue and get angry about it, until it was restricted. And then I was like, if I do that, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna argue with this person. I'm not gonna do that. And so now it's like I'm a lot more aware of not putting myself in a situation where I will get angry and argue with someone. And it's probably for the best because
You know what?
okay.
I'm gonna where is it at? Where is it at? I'm gonna hit you with one of these real quick.
Thank you.
Congratulations on not getting into fights and getting angry over things. Being able to avoid that is no small feat.
The thing, like, I don't want to get into a fight.
Lulu says,
I
"Hey,
will.
hi. I was just finishing X-Men because I had forgot. Had been a busy week. Multiple reviews I had to write. No worries. We finished up our X-Men chat by the time you came in, I think. But that's cool that you're doing some more reviews again. Sorry, Florida question. I can't type for some reason. Sticky fingers. We have faith in you, Poppy. It is just your first sermon. You have nowhere to go but up. Okay, so you got some
Thank
support for your
you.
sermon there. Just
Thank you
keep
so
keep
much.
at it. I believe they live just north of here in Wisconsin because they thought that Slender Man lived in Nicollet.
They are in Wisconsin. Yeah, they
National
were in
Forest.
Wisconsin. They were in
Interesting.
Wisconsin.
That makes sense. Wisconsin strikes me as a very creepy and probably haunted place.
They so the last, because I wrote a post about this in 2015, and so I went back and found it in the community I was in on livejournal.com. But it was when the judge ruled that the girls who were 13 would be tried as adults in the stabbing of their
Oh,
classmate.
they were tried as adults even though they were teenagers when it happened?
They were 13 when it happened. They were 12. They were all
Oh.
12.
They weren't even teenagers.
Yeah, they were. So it says the two girls are charged with first-degree attempted homicide. Were they to be tried as juveniles, they would be held at a juvenile center until they turned 18. Some sources say age 25. Tried as adults, they could face up to 65 years in a state prison if convicted. Morgan Geyser has been diagnosed with early-onset schizophrenia, and her legal team argues that her condition will be exacerbated by the adult prison system. Under Wisconsin law, people who are ages 10 and older and are charged with first-degree attempted homicide are considered an adult.
For 10 and older?
Yeah, isn't that fucking nuts?
That's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It like gives me chills reading it, and this is almost 10 years ago.
A 10-year-old's brain is barely formed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, her frontal lobe is not developed. Like, and they're gonna put them, like, if you put, and I don't know what happened, I would have to like look this up. But like, it's not like they're gonna be segregated from an adult population in prison.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get fucked up by adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Always curious about how swing state people are feeling about things. I'm definitely not one of those guys, so...
I feel very bad about everything.
I think that's the general vibe. Well, you're not far. I'm in the West Palm Beach area. Duh, Bianca doxing herself in the chat.
Nice.
You Florida people.
So, one girl received a sentence of 25 years to life. The other received 40 years to life. And after 7 years in custody, the one of them was granted early release and will be under supervision until age 37.
That's outlandish for... I mean, I know that the crime itself is fucked up, but for a 12-year-old to... I mean, what were they doing between the ages of... How old are they now?
Let's see.
Also, we got hit with the hydrate, so you have to hydrate too.
Okay. I need more water. Hang on.
Sounds similar to itching. I think either the divination process maybe you were describing.
I Ching, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it is similar in some ways, but I don't know necessarily because I'm not super familiar with I Ching. But I could look at work tomorrow because I think we have a book on it at work.
Yo,
So they
Arachnid
were
Soul,
12.
welcome back to the stream. I don't know if you're still here, but if you're
They're
lurking,
22 now. They're 22 now.
22. Okay, so that's 10 years then. Between 12 and 22?
Yeah.
What were they doing for those 10 years? Does that count as part of the time?
Let me see, because the stabbing happened in 2014, and they were 12. Let me see when they were sentenced.
I have a tummy ache now from eating a bowl of cereal and half a tub of deviled egg potato salad. What? You ate those things at the same time, Toaster? A bowl of cereal and deviled egg potato salad? That's crazy. Didn't hear of this. I mean, of course. She had schizophrenia and were placed at a mental hospital.
Yeah.
Man, I love this convo we're having, but I got to sleep. Ah, well, have a good night, Bianca. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for your kind words. I don't.
Why are you getting so
know
aggro with me? I did the hydrate. I did the hydrate. Posture check? Okay, and stretch. Okay, you hit me with a number of things. Let me do the stretch. And posture check. Ugh.
I feel like this Wikipedia article is not giving the full story.
Probably have to watch a true crime YouTube video over it.
Well, the thing is, like, because I think there was one girl who, like, held the girl down, and the other one who actually stabbed her and whose idea it was. So the girl who did the stabbing was charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. The other girl was second-degree party to she pleaded guilty to being a party to attempted second-degree homicide. And she accepted a plea offer that stipulated she would not undergo a trial if she pleaded guilty and agreed to further evaluation by psychiatrists. She is the one who has been released. And she has supervision. She has a lot of stipulations. She was released, the one who did not stab anyone, the one who was just like a party to it.
I just want to say as a quick aside, when you said she has supervision, in my mind, I thought supervision, like, like, oh, she's got like X-ray vision or something.
Oh, nice.
Like, damn, how'd that happen? Like, that's what my dumb brain is doing right now as I'm listening to this. But continue, go on.
She was released in 2021 with stipulations including 24-hour GPS monitoring that required her to request permission before leaving the county. In 2023, the GPS stipulation was removed. Her internet use is restricted and monitored. As part of her supervised release, she is not allowed to use any form of social media. She is required to take court-mandated psychiatric medication and is escorted to regular counseling sessions by a caseworker. She is required to live with her father while under supervision of the court. The other girl was given the maximum sentence, 40 years to life. They rejected her petition to be retried as a juvenile. And in 2024, she petitioned for release, and the judge denied it at a hearing in April.
That's it. That's all. It sounds really insane to me. Like, I get it. Like, they pinned someone down and tried to kill them. You know, but
yeah.
they were 12.
Another 12-year-old. Yeah.
They were all 12. Like, I don't think there's any read of this that's going to make me understand what a judge would be thinking in order to sentence someone that, you know, committed admittedly a heinous crime, you know, as a child, and then like decide to completely destroy their entire life from it. Like, you may as well just give them the death sentence. Like, what's the difference between sentencing someone who committed a crime as a child to like basically a life sentence, you know, and just killing them right then and there? Like, their life is effectively
they're, like,
over.
Sixth graders. Sixth
Damn.
graders.
That's
crazy,
the real
right?
that's the real horror story. The horror story isn't Slender Man and the sacrifice and the cult. The horror story is the fucking dog awful criminal justice system that a 12-year-old gets shuffled into, you know, because they were young and impressionable and, you know, maybe even a little mentally unstable. God damn, that's brutal.
It's
Did they get a retrial? I know there was a ruling that any kids tried as adults get new trials. Doesn't sound like there was a retrial according to Royal.
I don't think so. But let me double check.
And Bianca says, "You're doing great, Poppy Royal. You worked hard on your paper. Everybody's supporting you."
Thank you. Thanks, y'all. Because it's rough. No, there was not a retrial. She the girl who did the actual stabbing, she petitioned to be retried as a juvenile. But the Wisconsin Supreme Court declined to hear the appeal.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I guess that's that for them then. They're going to be in prison until they're in their 70s.
Well, the one is out, but it's under supervision.
Under supervision, yes. Well, I guess there's
Yeah.
that then at least. All right. Well, in a dark mirror, everyone.
And yeah, I found like a news story of like the girl who was stabbed, like giving a kind of like telling her story. And what's interesting is like I'm reading this, and this article is from when? Like, this is from 2019. So the things that she's saying in this article are like definitely mirrored in this book for sure. Because she was like, I couldn't focus much because my body was working to keep itself alive. She couldn't see. Her focus was like in and out. She had been stabbed like 11 times or something.
Oh shit. Could you send me that
19 times.
I mean, that's a lot of.
This girl.
It's remarkable she survived even then.
Yeah, the only reason she survived is because there was like some dude passing by.
Slender Man stabbing victim speaks publicly for the first time. Without the whole situation, I wouldn't be who I am. Okay, I mean, I guess that's one way of looking at it. Until now,
Yeah,
Peyton Lautner had never spoken publicly about what happened to her in the woods at the hands of her best friend and another classmate. Her scars from the 19 times she was stabbed on May 31st, 2014, testify to that moment of betrayal, but they also mark her incredible strength to survive. I've come to accept all the scars that I have, Lautner said in exclusive interview with ABC's David Muir. Just a part of me. I don't think much of them. They'll probably go away and fade eventually.
Her doctor says that if the knife had gone the width of a human hair further, she would not have lived.
I mean, 19 stab wounds.
It said that one of the wounds nearly penetrated her heart and missed a major artery by less than a millimeter. That's crazy, bud. I bet like the thing that I thought the most about this, like when I was reading about it, was like how traumatized this girl must have been. Like,
yeah.
At 12 years old, she was like, she said to this day she sleeps with the scissors under the pillow next to her, just in case.
You see, I would have thought that it would have been the opposite. Like, I would have figured that she would be deathly afraid of sharp blades being nearby.
That's crazy. Scary. Like, how can you trust someone again? You know?
It's definitely going to make you look a little different about meeting new friends.
Yeah.
Something was strange because at all our past sleepovers, guys are always wanting to stay up all night because she could never do that at home. But on the night of the birthday party, she wanted to go to bed. Once I look back on it, I was like, that is really weird. Why didn't I see something? Why didn't I know? Well, you know, you never notice those things. They're easy to understand in hindsight, but, you know.
Yeah. That's what she said. She's like, I'm not beating myself up about it, because how would she... Like, how would you even conceive that, you know? Like, there's no way for you to be like, oh, these guys are up to something. You know, they're 12 years fucking old.
Well, who was that? Damn. Who was that girl that conspired with some dude she met online to kill her mom? And then she had that dude kill her mom, and they both went to jail. And then she got out. I forget her name. She became like a social media celebrity for a little while, for reasons that I don't know.
Oh, wait, like recently?
Oh, Gypsy Rose?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard?
Yeah. For whatever reason, this just made me think of that. Like,
yeah.
You know, kids conspiring to kill with kitchen knives. You know, I guess that's a whole subgenre of true crime, but she's also a mentally not well person, seemingly to me from the outside looking in, admittedly.
I mean, I think that also... that like that's a completely different case, because wasn't that like Munchausen by proxy or something, where like her mom was...
Oh yeah, she was being abused by her mom, you know.
Yeah.
In that instance, it makes a little bit more sense to me there, but I also like... I understand. This is why, I guess maybe this is why I have a hard time with the sentencing aspect of this, is because I understand kids getting swept up into like the whimsy and mysticism of like a creature from another world, and you know, if you perform a ceremony, then you could bring them over and blah 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 blah, and like, yeah, it's nuts to have that go. It's nuts to have that go directly to the top shelf of murder, sacrifice, you know, with 19 stab wounds and shit. Like, there aren't a whole lot of kids that would take it that far, but, you know, kids are dumb. You know, kids do stupid shit all the time, you know, if they're not, you know, eating Tide Pods or trying to swallow cinnamon in giant clumps and shit. Like, they're doing all sorts of crazy, stupid things. They're recording themselves stealing Kias on TikTok and plastering them all over the place like they aren't going to get caught with their face on cam committing crimes. Like, kids do dumb shit, you know, and I can understand, like, how a particular breed of, like...
really have the same concept of, like, reality. You know, like, they can get swept away because they don't have a context of having a fully grown brain, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I think this one girl is fully, like, having schizophrenic hallucinations.
Yeah, and that's a completely different beast altogether, too.
Yeah, but also, like, because that's something, like, I can't even really conceive. Like, I've known people who, like, not even firsthand, like, secondhand, like, known people who have had friends or dated someone who had schizophrenia that came with hallucinations, and, like, apparently those hallucinations are so realistic that they're like, you don't see that, you know, like, they're asking, like, you don't see this fish or whatever. So that's something, like, I can't even imagine. And so if you were, you know, having those issues where, you know, you're having these hallucinations, then yeah, that probably does alter your perception of reality substantially.
I had one of my close friends who, you know, passed away recently. I met her many years ago, she was dealing with schizophrenia on that level, where it was like, at times without medication, she would have a hard time discerning reality from hallucination, and it's pretty intense. Like, it can be a pretty intense thing.
Yeah, they did. Her family did victims impact statement.
Yeah.
And the dad wrote about like the problems. It's like how traumatized she is and how hard it is on their family. And then the mom's victim impact statement said that her family accepted the plea deals for both of those girls to keep her daughter from testifying. Because otherwise, if they hadn't accepted that, then the kid who had been stabbed would have had to testify in court. And she's like, traumatizing her further didn't seem worth it. Peyton has never talked about her attack, so asking her to testify and relive her experience in front of a courtroom of strangers felt cruel and unnecessary.
Okay, well, I agree with that, kind of. Wow, alright, well, I guess there's a lot to dig into then within a dark mirror.
It's and like now that I'm reading these like follow-up articles, because I didn't know very much about it like after the sentencing happened, but it's so similar that I think it probably would have been better off if she had just completely fictionalized it. It's clear to me from like these like very brief articles that like this woman was like either like very involved in this in terms of reading or like did a lot of research into it, and I just think maybe the best bet would have been to like fictionalize it more.
Yeah, it was probably a situation where the people involved in the case didn't want to have their names used in it, so she wanted to make like a more accurate telling of what happened, but then because she had to change the names and stuff, it gave it a more fictionalized appearance without actually being a more fictionalized retelling. And she probably should have just
I would have liked. Yeah, I just think like, because like I said, it's complicated because it's like these are real people who had this experience, like, and I can understand as a human being not wanting to like trivialize that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, does it make a good novel? Not really.
What would you give this book on a 5-star rating then?
Probably like a 3. It's not poorly written. It's just not dynamic. It's not I think that because it is primarily a fictionalized account of real events, that it holds the author back from doing something that could be really like either scary or like scary in a like occult way, or alternately scary in a more like true crime crazies on the internet way.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That's a fair. I think.
But it was a very quick read. I got like very swept into it, and I read it like almost in one sitting. I think I took a break to like get a snack.
How many pages is it?
Not long. Does it say on Goodreads?
No. Oh wait, yes it does. 300 pages.
Yeah, not super long.
Well, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be competing against Oops Demon anytime soon.
What is this Oops Demon? Did you get it?
I got a sample. I had a sample sent to my Kindle, and I read some of it. It's as bad as you would imagine. We were talking about
we were talking about this. Yeah, I remember it now
novels.
That I'm looking at the...
Yeah.
It's only $5.
Keep your money. Like, because even the little sample that I read was like...
Was that bad? I'm gonna read
awful.
the sample.
Hold on a second. Let me see.
Oh yeah, this is terrible. This first sentence is like...
Yes, the first sentence is miserable.
Here's the first sentence, friends. Alex expected nothing more than a delicious ham sandwich, but instead, he accidentally summoned a demon.
Yep. That's your opener.
Alex tried not to look down there, but it was really hard not to do when his uninvited visitor wasn't wearing any pants. He wasn't wearing anything at all. And he had a lot going on down there.
I don't even know how to access my Kindle books. I have all sorts of Kindle books, but I only ever
They're
read
like
them
eating
on...
a sandwich together.
It's even worse than that. It's much, much worse. If I could figure out how to get to my damn Kindle. Oh, here we go.
No sense summoning another demon when he didn't really know what to do with the first one.
Wow, this is... Oh, here we go.
Seth. You named this demon Seth. His name is Seething Destroyer of the Soul.
Let me see if I could... And the funny... Yeah, so the demon shows up and he goes, "Again?" The demon asked. Really? Again? That's the first... That is a Seth. That's not a Seething Destroyer of this. Seething Destroyer of the Soul does not open with "again."
You do not wish for me to perform a function for you.
Hulking in appearance with a wide, muscle-riddled chest, flowing black hair, pointy little horns, and... Oh boy. Alex tried not to look down there, but that was really hard not to do when his uninvited visitor wasn't wearing any pants. He wasn't wearing anything at all, and he had a lot going on down there. The burnished red of the rest of him turned darker around that area, making that part of him look sinister. Sinister
oh my God,
and very, very interesting.
The human kid is the top, and the demon is the bottom?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Because he summoned the demon, and
you can either be my friend, and I will call you Seth, or you can be my bitch boy, and I will call you bitch boy. Take your pick.
Yep.
Ooh, buddy.
That's Oops Demon for you.
Well, Anitra Lynn McLeod, you've done it again.
Genetic Berry Farm says, keep in mind we live in a time when easy access to firearms has ensured people can readily shoot each other over nothing, and at the same time 51% of gun deaths are suicide. It's an elephant in the... I don't quite know what that comment was in reference to, but I have a feeling it has nothing to do with Oops Demon. What was that in reference to? I can't recall. Oh, anyways.
So funny.
Yeah, you got anything else going on?
So
you got
funny.
any salacious celebrity news or anything else that you're following on LiveJournal?
No. Nothing crazy. I guess no, nothing's happening. Just Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah, that popped off, and then it kind of got over. It was too much. It was too much for a while. It was way too much, and it's too crazy. It's too crazy. Like they're playing that Kendrick Lamar song during the NBA playoffs, and the LA Dodgers are playing it at their stadium, and it's fucking crazy because it's a good track to dance to. It's a dope track, but it is ultimately a track about a dude screaming that man's a pedophile over and over again and shit. And it's like, what are we doing here? Well, you're gonna be playing the pedophile song on the NBA playoffs? Like this is can we pull the brakes on this a little bit? Like, yeah, it's pretty wild, but you know, I think a lot of people in this day and age they weren't ready for real hip hop beef. Like hip hop beef, rap beefs, real ones, not manufactured ones, because there have been manufactured ones aplenty, and they never really go anywhere, and people just kind of dismiss them. But real ones get intense, and they usually end in a shooting of some sort, you know. And this one was a real one, and it got wild in a hurry. So, like, I think people weren't ready for that. I think the younger generation, certainly this is probably their first experience with a hip-hop beef, that's actually probably the most interesting part of that whole debacle, is that this was like the first real super intense beef in the social media era. So you got to see people react in real time to it and meme it. And there were some great memes. And then like Metro Boomin released a beat and was like, I'll make a free beat for the best rhyme over this.
Best verse over.
And then people just started, all of a sudden, you've got random fucking 17-year-old kids from the suburbs shitting on Drake. And it's like, you don't even know Drake, dude. What are you doing? Acting like you got a beef with them. It's like, God damn. Like,
my friend who I had when I did my first go round of div school, he was there. That's where I met him. And he wrote a whole Facebook post that was like a sermon about BBL Drizzy.
Oh no.
With Bible verse. And my favorite part of it was like, he said, and he didn't do it on purpose, but I thought he did, but he called him Metropolitan Boomin.
Metropolitan Boomin?
And I was like, you had me at Metropolitan Boomin, dude. And he was like, damn autocorrect. And I'm like, I thought you were saying that like it was his full name.
Yeah, that's his Christian name. Metropolitan Boomin. His mama calls him Metro. You don't call it. His mama calls him Metro. You call him Metropolitan.
Metropolitan.
You just said a whole string of boomer ass things, like posting on Facebook, boomer. A sermon over BBL Drizzy, boomer. Metropolitan, boomer.
Well, who's that kid on the Metropolitan Boomin?
Like, is your friend older than we are?
No, it may be in like in his mind. I think he's one of those like people who like, you know, sometimes you'll see those little kids and you're like, that little kid is an old man.
Oh, he's an old soul.
I think that, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
like just a little,
enough.
like a funny, but like all of his posts are like that. Like just a very funny, like just whatever is going. I was like, you really need to write a book. You need to stop posting this stuff on Facebook where people don't appreciate you, and write a book about these things that like, because he just like is having all these thoughts. There was one little like Facebook sermon thing he wrote, and it was like, I want you to repeat after me. She's not for the streets. She's for the pond. Because she is a silly goose. And I was like, it's terrific, bud. I just love it. I love everything you do.
Oh, boy. That sounds like the kind of thing I would see on one of those decorative like mats that you get on Etsy. That like someone would order that on Etsy and be like, that's so me. I'm a silly goose. I'm not for the streets. I'm for the pond. What?
Oh my god. I can see like fully like a bougie woman saying that.
No, it's totally.
I would love that. Once you did that impersonation, I was like, yes, 100%. I know someone who would do that.
It's like, totally bougie.
I should make him I should get him, like a little like doormat or something.
You should.
Live, laugh, love. Yeah, but he's very sweet. I wish him the best. I think he's very funny and unappreciated in his time. But
oh, by the way, I had this open and I never got to it during our X-Men discussion, but the original voice actor for Cable does do a voice in X-Men 97. He does the voice of, I guess, someone named Carl Denty and also a Friends of Humanity soldier. So he's around and he's voicing in X-Men, but just not Cable anymore.
Voicing.
He's also got a pretty sweet fedora going on too.
Oh, Carl Denty is the executioner.
Oh, he was the voice of the executioner. Okay, yeah. Cool. Okay. Wow, from Cable to the executioner.
Yeah. The real executioner song. Yeah, but yeah, he does a terrific cable. Alright, I gotta turn in, friend. I gotta wash this face and go to bed.
Alright. Well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, as always.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Oh, let me send you this really quick. This is... Wait, did I take a picture of it? Let me send this to you if I took a picture of it. Which
Okay.
maybe I did. But maybe I did.
Are you sending it in Discord, or...?
I'm sending it in Discord. If I
Okay.
can get in there. What? Wait. Messages. I think it looks great.
Oh, look at that. I like that.
Good, terrific. I'm glad you like it. I was thinking I might do some splatters, little ink splatters in there too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay.
I was actually, I forget what I was talking about. I forget what I was talking about, but at some point, I think it may have been, I did a video about, it was over the Apple ad, and as soon as I uploaded it, it got blocked because I guess Apple doesn't want me showing their ad to anyone. But,
Oh.
yeah.
That was on ONTD today.
Yeah, but, I guess I was talking at some point about, I was like, I don't even know anybody who uses iPads anymore outside of, like, dentist offices and shit. But I was talking about how a lot of people like the tactile feeling of drawing on pen and paper, and it reminded me of the conversation we had when someone asked, you know, if you were a traditional artist or not, and you know, obviously you draw. I say obviously like I'm showing this to everyone, but
but
like,
yeah,
you do all your art on paper, so you know, and
but now that
go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say at first when we started discussing you doing art for my comic, I had posited the idea of doing it on a tablet because you know there is convenience to that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
and I'm not opposed to it.
I think I actually like the traditional approach. I like that you actually put it on paper and shit.
It's been cool and fun.
Do you still prefer that method?
For now I do, and the only reason that I do for now is because I've taken such a long time off from doing, because I used to have like a little Wacom tablet, and that was so long ago, and I don't have any of that stuff anymore, and so I haven't done any kind of digital art in so long that I know it would take me a lot longer to... Oh, what happened?
Oh, I just stopped screen sharing.
Okay, no worries. I was just like, I heard a noise and I was confused. But yeah, I just know like that it would take me a long time to kind of get it right. Like the learning curve of that would take some time, but I was looking at it because I guess they dropped the price of like the 10th gen iPad to $350, but
Yeah.
that's only with like 64 gigabytes of memory, and so I think it's still like $500 with the 256 or whatever. But people are saying good things about like Procreate and about like CSP, Clip Studio Paint. People use that a lot for making comics, and so yeah, I think it would be nice because then you know you can add a lot of things that are easier, just like you added like speed lines with your phone super quickly.
Yeah.
Like that's something like the convenience of that, because I ain't drawing all that. If you can add it in 3 seconds with like your thumb,
Yeah.
like it's gonna take me.
I forget where I was at. I think I may have been at like
a
a bar or something when I did that too. I may have done it while like chugging vodka and shit, and I was like, oh
yeah.
all right.
You're just like,
But
yeah. So I was like,
I know
buddy,
that there
you can
are
do that
some
so fast. Like it's gonna take me so long to draw that.
Yeah. No, and I'm not at all opposed to the idea of using shortcuts like that too. The only reason why, because I remember back whenever I was still attempting to do art, I started trying to draw on a tablet, and I hated it. Like I like the for I guess for lack of a better word, the haptics of feeling like the lead or the tip of the pen or whatever drag across a rugged piece of paper. I get some feedback from that I don't get when I'm dragging a stylus on like a silky smooth screen. And there are some tablets that replicate grain on the surface so that you can get that feel, that drawing on paper feel. I haven't used those.
Yeah, I haven't used like the closest thing. Like I've never drawn with like an Apple Pencil on an iPad or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've like drawn with my finger, but on an iPad, which is its own kind of enjoyableness, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get the same kind of like detail or specificity. And so the closest thing I've ever had is a Wacom tablet with a stylus, and that is fine, but like difficult sometimes because, you know, your tablet is not your screen. So I'm trying to look at the screen because that's where something is happening.
Yeah.
And then I'm running off the side.
Rather than drawing and looking at what you're drawing, you have to like, it's almost like blind, like doing a blind sketch.
A little bit, yeah, because you're not looking at your hand, you're looking at the screen where your hand is down here, you know. And then because the tablet I had was so small, like I would just run off the side because I didn't have a concept of like where I was in terms of how large, because I had like a little guy like maybe like this big.
Yeah.
So
we got to do a heist and get you one of those big tablets, the big Wacom stations. They're like $4,000.
I remember like, oh god, I like the thing with me is like, because there was someone that I like, she was a first year student when I don't think I was a senior yet, but I was interested in the work she was doing because she was very interested in like graffiti art and stuff like that. And she was always like trying to fundraise to get one of these like really expensive tablets. And the thing for me, like as an artist, is, you know, like I'm like, your work on paper is not that great. The tablet is not going to make your work better. It's not. And
No.
it's like, it's not shade. It's just like, you having a very expensive tool is not going to make your art better. You have to sit in studio, draw on paper or on your tablet. Like, you have to put in hours to make it look good. A $3,000 tablet is not going to make your work better. It's just going to, your work is still going to be crappy because you just want a shortcut. Like, you can't shortcut your way into it. Like, it's probably the same for you in writing. You've probably been writing for a really long time. Or absorbing, you know, like absorbing how people write, like looking at things that work and don't work. You can't just like,
yeah, I think like
like me, like you can't like the script that you wrote for Murder of Crows is really good, I think.
Thank you.
And I don't think that you would have done that like as your first thing. You have to work your way through things. You have to like see what works and what doesn't. You have to write something that's a flop, just like I just wrote something that's a flop, you know? Sometimes not every drawing is gonna work, but like you learn from that. You can't just like be like, I got a fancy computer and now I'm gonna write the great American novel.
Yeah. I think Murder of Crows, I mean, I guess as a kid, I technically wrote a lot of comics as a kid because I would just write them as I drew them. So I don't know if that counts. I think Murder of Crows might have been the second thing I ever wrote. I can't remember if it's the first or second, but like, I guess it depends on the definition of write, because there's a lot of abandoned work. There's a lot of,
that's practice.
Yeah,
like,
I wrote 15 pages and then I sat in agony of my writing for about 2 years. and then I went and wrote 15 more pages of something else.
It's the same for me. Like I got like I did 900 sketches of a character.
Yeah.
You know, like, does this character have a story? Not particularly. Like, do I know what she's doing in the world? No,
you're
but I
good
know how
at
to
doing
draw
that
her.
though. You're good at doing that kind of thing, and there is a value in that too, like being able to just imagine something in.
But that's practice.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
No,
Like,
of course.
it's because we've done it for so long, and so when you're looking at like people like us who have, you know, regardless of like whether we're playing with it or not, we put in hours on it
Yeah.
versus someone who's like younger and it's like, oh, you know what I need to be like a pro is this like expensive tool, like when you just need to
No, yeah, it's a lot like when I
need
first
to make
bought a
better
guitar.
shapes.
I bought a guitar and then I bought all this equipment for it, and like, you know, I could barely hold the damn thing.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking about
Lulu
I would really
uses
like to either
Procreate.
learn
You can get a paper texture
Guitar.
screen protector. That was a tongue twister.
I would like either to learn guitar or the drums.
Earlier this week,
Or the fiddle. I'd like to learn the fiddle.
the fiddle. Okay, that's interesting. The devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah.
But earlier this week, my nieces got one of my guitars. Like, I have a bunch, and they want to learn. So I was like, you can go ahead and take the classical one, sure. And they took it. It needed some repairs done, so they took it to Guitar Center and they fixed it up. And like, they're so happy with it right now. Like, they were sending me videos of them. Like, you know, they were driving back up home to Fort Worth, and they were like sitting in the car messing around with it and stuff.
Aww.
You know, and they're gonna
That's
take
cute.
lessons and all of that. So it was like, that's awesome. I'm glad that, you know, somebody is gonna get better use out of that guitar than I did, I guess. But yeah, like there, I guess it is not just like those are my sister's kids, but my brother's kids also want one of my guitars. You know, like they're just, it's almost like an estate sale. I was like, I'm not dead yet, guys. Like, don't start picking over my shit, but I'm gonna let them have another one of my guitars, and then, you know, all of the kids will be learning something.
My brother wanted to get either a guitar or an accordion. And
Accordion?
I think
Okay,
yeah.
you guys have to get an accordion and a fiddle.
Yeah. But like he was like, I don't know, like it might drive my kids insane if I got an accordion. So he was thinking about just getting the guitar, but now he, you know, because it's an investment. So it's something where it's like, oh, do I need to spend the money? You know, like you kind of like waver on it,
what
which
does
I
he-
understand.
What does he want to do with the accordion?
I don't know if I think he had one at one point and was learning how to play it, and then had to sell it to cover a bill or something. And so I think he wants to get. I think like he hasn't, and I think he played guitar when he was younger. So it was like, oh, let me get back into music. Maybe I should do that. And so I think it's just kind of like an extension of trying to get
Okay.
back into music.
Because like polka, I'm not familiar, but Zydeco music is some of my favorite music
Oh
of
yeah.
all time. I love Zydeco music. If you're ever in a bad mood, as a matter of fact, the next time that like all of this misery over your paper starts to wash over you, just put on some Zydeco music and you will automatically be in a good mood. Like, that's my go-to good mood music.
Is it? That's funny.
So like, if he wants to get into Zydeco, all for it. Him doing Zydeco, you on the fiddle, like jamming.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jamming.
Y'all about to be a Creole. About to be a sit on Creole there, boy. We'll cut up them like that onion there. We'll sizzle up on that onion.
I
and
guarantee.
get on that fiddle.
Let's see. Already. Yeah, like my one of my art professors played the fiddle. Or actually, I don't think she knew how to play the fiddle. She was like learning
She just had one.
I think she's like 65
that's
in
cool.
her late 60s and is learning the fiddle because she had a fiddle instructor. And she fell in love with him, even though he was married. That was a little
Oh, wait,
scandalous.
okay.
And then he passed away. It was a whole like dramatic thing. It was very
Wow.
cute to me.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a story.
It's just, a little glamorous story. And it's like my art professor, this was Laura. I had two art professors, Laura and John, and I love them both so much. And there was a photography professor, Paige, but I wasn't as involved with her because I didn't do photography.
Yeah.
But they were also precious, and Laura just tells the funniest stories and has the best little she'll do like little impersonations, and she's very cute. So I love her little time, and I think her brother is also a musician too, because he like puts stuff on Spotify, which I think is so cute. And then John Morgan is the I gotta check on him. John Morgan introduced me to John Prine, which I really appreciate. I love
who that
knowing
is.
John Prine. He was the country musician, and he died of COVID, at the very beginning of the pandemic. But he was a terrific singer-songwriter, and he used to be a postman. And he was discovered at some amateur night, and he was like, I just would have played the amateur night forever. I just like to sing and play guitar. But yeah, John Prine, I would say look him up because I think he's terrific.
Okay.
I think he does I think he does really terrific little funny slice of, some of them are sad and some of them are funny, but they're just songs for an everyday person.
Oh, this dude was an elderly gentleman. 73 when he passed away. Okay. I'll listen to this.
Bummer. Yeah. He's great. Just a terrific. He did a little one of those, what do you call that? The Tiny Desk concert?
Yeah.
That was really sweet too. Very sweet. He just seemed like the sweetest person on the planet Earth. So I like all his little songs. John Prine, being introduced to John Prine is what made me want to learn how to play guitar.
Okay, well shit. I'll give him a listen. Yeah. Maybe it'll make me want to get back into playing guitar.
Yeah, before your nieces and nephews
before they pillage. Yeah. Before they pillage me, loot me of all of my stuff.
You guys could start a family band. That's
I
my
think
dream.
That's probably their intention.
Yeah, you gotta get in there.
Me?
You gotta muscle your way in there. They're taking your guitars. You gotta go in there and be like, I'm in this band too.
There would be nothing that they would want more than to be in a band with Uncle Devin. That's or
that's so sweet.
Dabin is what they call me. Dabin. Dabin. like a dab. I'm Uncle Dabin.
Oh my god!
They would want nothing more than to be in a band with Uncle Dabin.
You could be Uncle Devin and the Dabbers.
Uncle Dabin and the Dabbers.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I would like to, and I thought about this. I would like to play drums. I would like to get a drum set. I think that would be cool.
I really want to learn that. I don't know if I could do it because my timing is not great. But I'm wondering if I got drum lessons, if I would get better at.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would have fun because who doesn't like beating the shit out of things with a stick?
Oh my god, I love a little drum line, I love a little homecoming marching band drum line. Ugh.
For a little while I did drums for a Brazilian street band.
That's so cool.
It was really cool, because it was massive group, and I was sitting there with the big drum, over my shoulder, the straps were over my shoulder, so the drum was sitting at my waistline. And it was 20 of us that all had the drum, and we just had to doom 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 doom, and I had to it was tough for me to figure out what the actual cadence of their drumming was, but it was fun and it was cool. It doesn't I love percussions. It doesn't have to be a drum kit you sit at and with pedals and shit. It could be bongos, or it could be the Brazilian thing or whatever that's called.
Speaking of bongos, so I think I posted this in my Discord.
Oh, my sleeping pill is kicking in. I'm going to go lie down. Night, guys. Thanks for stopping by, Lulu. I appreciate it.
Hey, Lulu.
Have a good night.
I was rewatching Evangelion recently.
Yeah.
And because Daryl Surratt has surround sound speakers in his house, I was like, This person in this intro, like in Cruel Angel's Thesis, is going ham on these fucking toms. Like through the whole thing.
I still have not watched that show.
Oh, that's right. You haven't watched that show.
At some point, I will get to it.
Show.
All right, I don't want to keep you up any later than you already have been sticking around.
I'm gonna go Betty bye.
Thanks for
fun.
chatting with me. You have a good night.
We'll do it next week for the finale.
For the finale, yes. Looking forward to it. I don't know where it's gonna go. I can't even put out a prediction.
I guess we'll see.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
See you later.
All right. Let me get my camera back on. I'll go ahead and close this. Let's see. What time is it? I'll stick around for a little while, but I have to use the bathroom, so I'll be back in a brief second. All right. I think before I bounce for the night, I'm gonna play a little bit of should I try a new game? Meet the guy who just nuked Xbox boss Phil Spencer in Fallout 76? What? He said he treated the Xbox executive like the RPG's final boss. What the fuck is this about? Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer is taking a lot of heat online for recent decisions to close beloved studios like Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks. I'm working on editing a video where I talk about that more in depth. Last night, the longtime gaming exec was apparently exploring the wasteland in Fallout 76 when another player nuked his entire campsite. It's not much to it. I've been planning to catch him for a while now to see if he would agree to fight. User Real1090Jake told Kotaku over Twitter DMs. Trying to take him down was just a personal goal for me after I finished the main quest line. He shared some additional screenshots from the encounter, which has been weeks in the making. The big general, Phil, better not let me catch him. Wait, what? I don't know. I don't even have the slightest clue as to how Fallout 76 actually plays. Spencer's reputation for being the gaming boss. What? Okay, I see what they're saying. Spencer's reputation for being the gaming boss has taken a major hit this year on the back of several controversies. The first was the mass layoffs at Microsoft in January that hit Blizzard and other development teams. The second was a new strategy to begin bringing some major first-party console exclusives to the PlayStation 5, like Sea of Thieves, which some Xbox fans saw as the company abandoning an ecosystem it spent decades building up. Then there was this week's closure of 4 more studios, including the team behind the critically acclaimed 2023 rhythm action platformer Hi-Fi Rush. Last night, Twitter user Sam Snides shared a screenshot of Fallout 76 that immediately went viral. It showed... I did see this on Twitter, but I had no idea what it actually meant. I had no idea what it meant. Oh, is this the actual video of what happened? I don't know what it means to nuke his camp. It is Fallout 4 as an MMORPG set in Appalachia. Okay, is it? So I imagine that it's just like full on PvP then. If you encounter another player, you can fucking kill him. You've been working on the goal of dropping a nuke on Spencer since completing Fallout 76 main questline last month. He jumps around the map because he's always immediately crowded by players. I honestly just wanted my 1v1, but he wouldn't attack me back, and he wouldn't attack me back. He waved and did a couple of hearts when I caught him alone. Lord Almighty. Oh yeah, you know what? The full version of V Rising was released, wasn't it? That is a game that I own. I haven't played it in 2 years though. I didn't realize it had been that long. I honestly can't even remember. I can't remember how far I got. I think I was working on the second boss. Oh yeah, and there's like this whole Castlevania crossover in it too. Like I think you can play as Alucard maybe? I started building my castle, and I mean it's pretty shitty right now, but it definitely doesn't look as good as this. Maybe I should get back into this. I played it for 6.8 hours. Well, you know, for a survival game, that's actually a pretty long time for me. Yo, Vince on YouTube, welcome back to the stream. The PvP is optional. Yeah, it sounds like, you know, he has to opt into PvP in order to do it, and it sounds like Phil Spencer was not interested in opting into anyone's PvP. Oh yeah, there's a new season of The Bear coming out in a month. Kind of excited for that. I really like this show. It's one of the few shows that, like, I mean, there are a lot of shows that I like, but The Bear in the first season, the second season was good too, but the first season was special because it was just such an out of left field sort of thing. Like, I didn't have any expectation. I didn't know I didn't know what it was about or anything, and it was just such a fun show to watch. Even if it was stressful. But that's coming out. The Bear is coming out in June. House of the Dragon season 2 is coming out in June, which is weird because that was a September release or maybe August release last year. Or was it last year or was it the year before last year? Oh, Jesus, time is just going by so fast now. I guess The Boys is also coming out, but I don't really care about The Boys. And then, oh, they're all right here. They're all right here. I don't know why I'm doing it from memory. It's all right here. Yeah, The Boys Season 4, House of Dragon Season 2, The Bear Season 3, and Star Wars Acolyte on June 4th. So, there's a lot going on as far as TV shows in June. Maybe I'll play Road Warden. Maybe I'll try out Road Warden. Actually, I have my wheel of games over here. Oh, I only have 2. Where's my bigger one? I had a bigger wheel of games. I don't know what happened to it. Cthulhu, that was a fun game, but then they added a they had an update where they added stamina to it. And that term, you know what? I'm gonna play that one just because I want to see how annoying the stamina is gonna bother me. I hate games with stamina mechanics if it doesn't need a stamina mechanic. There's also a Helldivers 2 update. I haven't played that in a while either. Alright, I'm gonna play this for a little bit before I sign off for the night. All right. Oh, there's that shitty little bar right there. Why? Why did they add it? Why did they add it? That's so annoying. Oh, I'm already angry. I'm already angry. I think that's explosive. I don't want to hit that one. The amount of time that I have played this game, I have enjoyed it, but I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy it if my dude is going to get winded all the time now. And it's not like this game was too easy. Even without the stamina, it was pretty... Alright, I got my gun. Even without the stamina, it was pretty challenging. It's especially annoying since, like, enemies come at you in waves. It's not like they're trying to make it like a Dark Souls kind of thing, but this isn't a Dark Souls kind of game. I swear, Dark Souls just fucking ruined gaming for everyone. Nyarlathotep's Fury, 1 melee damage. Or Elder Sign Ward. 25% trigger, melee parry, 1... Why can't I... What do I... It's weird how I have to use my mouse for that. I didn't notice that was a burning one. I'm at the end anyways. What's happening? Why can't I? Here we go. Alright, they put more explosive barrels in this build. I gotta be careful. I'm too used to just destroying everything. Gotta find me a potion or something. That barrel really took it out of me. Let me switch to my gun. Gotcha, bitch. Well, that's one way to use the barrel to your advantage. How do I go back to my axe? There we go. Dragon's Glide. 1 range knockback, 1 melee knockback, +1. Yosothoth's Ember. 1 kinetic damage. 10% chance to inflict kinetic burn on enemies with an effect radius. It's a tough one. I'm gonna go with this one, though. I forget this dude can jump. Did I get the key? I did not. Oh, where is that blue key? That guy was moving fast. Gotta be careful, there's an explosive barrel right there. Well, that wasn't worth it. Things are lurking. I think that means that a wave of enemies are about to set upon me. This guy has good aim shooting around that barrel. Well, there was no wave of enemies. That's interesting. I'm gonna keep my money. I'm gonna keep my money so I can buy a shotgun. Oh, there's some more money. Oh, these guys the guys that shoot shit at me? Oh shit. Cthulhu's Embrace unlocked. What does that mean? I like how I just hid behind the corner. I hid behind the corner with my axe and just like wiped him. Yo, Gons, welcome back to the stream. How you doing, man? How you been? Really digging the look of this game. It's a lot of fun, even though they added that annoying ass stamina bar. Because I hate games with stamina. So far, it hasn't detracted from the fun of this game. I'm waiting for it to, but it hasn't yet. I've been doing much better, thank you. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. It's always good to hear about a solid recovery. What have you been playing lately? Oh, he's rocking me. He's just spitting that shit at me like crazy. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Okay. Let's switch to the pistol. And let's do some fucking Fed. Let's do some Fed gaming. Gotta kick this fucking door open. Police! I got a warrant! Alright, gotta sprinkle a little crack on him. He was coming at me with a gun. Gotta sprinkle some crack on him. Damn it, I thought I switched to my axe. I've been boring, just Fallout 3 on... Oh yeah, hit me with the A-cab. Fair, fair. This is a situation where it's warranted. I'm definitely barnstorming through some minority's house right now. They were just chilling, and then I showed up with my gun and my axe. Just wrecking shop. Like, do these creatures deserve to die? Probably not. Seems like I invaded their homestead, but they're dying anyways. Been boring, just Fallout 3 on Fridays. I haven't been able to get many streams in beyond that. Fair enough. I am slowly... Alright, it's this guy again. It's time to, oops. It's time to fed it up. I'm slowly, I'm slowly starting to warm up on Fallout 4. I'm kind of beginning to enjoy it. Yeah, but there's treasure down here. It's the same excuse the British Empire used. That's literally the excuse of the British Empire. And they're never gonna... Oh, shit. Oh, no. They're never gonna return that diamond to Africa either. I don't know how to roll. Okay, that's how I roll. Everything has to be like fucking Dark Souls now. Oh, I got him. +1 kinetic damage, plus 10%. I already have that. So I'm gonna do Corrupted Echoes. The refusal to return items from their museums is so infuriating. There was a fellow in northern Africa that has been campaigning for years to get it back, and the excuses they use are always infuriating. Yeah, they keep saying, like, you know, it's a part of British history, it's, you know, how they honor, etc., etc. And it's like, nah, guys, you stole the treasure, and you're getting called out on it. Just give it back. I wish I could remember his name. He's very famous. Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember the dude's name. Oh man, Europe's colonizing history has really fucked us. Like, everything that we've ever dealt with in the Middle East is all the fault of the British. And I don't think the British get enough shit for that. I don't think the British get enough shit for that. Bring out the pistol. Oh shit, this guy's on my ass. I don't like using the gun on that guy. He's a little too fast for that. And I'm not... Whew. Good thing there's all this ammo down here. Gotta walk these halls like I'm fucking hitting up David Koresh. Oh, he's immune to bullets anyways. Oh shit. Axe, axe. I think the modern crimes of the U.S. have overshadowed them in our current mind. Yes, but the modern crimes of the U.S. largely would not exist. In the Middle East, at least, were it not for, Britain. Ooh, some good shooting, buddy. Some solid shooting. The Cold War battle lines did no one any favors. Yeah, the Cold War is definitely well, no, actually Europe had their part to play. All of the Western Hemisphere's general obsession with capitalism and the fear that communism was going to overthrow it as a system. America definitely wasn't alone in that, but we definitely did the lion's share of damage to places like Vietnam, Cuba, pretty much anywhere. I mean, even South Africa. I saw somebody post on Twitter a map of all the places the CIA has had like some kind of an action in, and most of them I was familiar with, but there were a lot of places on the map where I was like, what the fuck did the CIA do in Mongolia? Like, what possible interest could we have in Mongolia? And I'm sure there is one, but I couldn't find any information about it. Where is that golden key? This is pretty much the beginning of the map. Where the hell is that damn golden key? Yeah, this is where I came in at. Colombia 2. I maintained that the Colombian Civil War would not have been as long and as dangerous as it was if the U.S. didn't conduct their war on drugs terror over there. Yeah, I mean, the global South in general would be in a much better state if America just minded their own business. Which is the point of contention I always make with people about... Oh, there it is. That I always tell people about whenever, like, the topic of immigration starts to get a little... Oh, shit, what the fuck? They damn it, they swarmed me. I couldn't escape that. This is where stamina fucking killed me, because they swarmed me while I was trapped in that room, and then when I was defending myself, my stamina disappeared. So like, I couldn't do anything. If I didn't have that fucking stamina bar, I would have been able to last that longer. God damn it. That annoys me. That annoys me. I hate stamina in games so much. I don't want to see this every fucking time. How do I skip? That was really BS. It was. Like, they put the key in, like, a dead end, and then as soon as I picked it up, they just sent a bunch of bodies and I couldn't get around them. And now I'm back to this sorry state. Oh my god. I wish companies made it optional to, like, get patches or not. Because I would have skipped this patch. I would have skipped this stamina bullshit. I'm gonna, no, I'm good. I'll just keep playing that particular version. Because I'll tell you what. If the demo that I played for this game did not have stamina in it, and if the demo had stamina, I probably wouldn't have bought this game. So I got ripped off. It was a con job. I was promised a game that had no stamina. This game definitely has its Diablo 1 inspiration, but concept-wise, it's making me think of Pathways into Darkness. It was an early Bungie game where a commando is sent into a Mayan temple to stop a cosmic terror inside of it. I mean, that sounds... cosmic terror? That's definitely Cthulhu. But, I haven't heard of that. That must have been... Was that Bungie before Halo? Try not to take damage from that. Wait, what was that? What killed me? Oh my god, what killed me? I don't even know what that was. Bungie, even before their marathon series, they still reference it a lot in their later games, though. 1993. Oh, damn. I didn't even know Bungie was around in 93. Hell, is Bungie still around now? I know Sony bought them, but What, are they just stuck in Destiny hell? I think I've come all the way around on my original opinion on whether or not I think it should be legal for game publishers to own development studios. When the idea was first posited to me, I was generally like, I think I was apathetic towards the notion of outlawing something like that, but as I thought more about it, I think I side on the side of not allowing publishers to own developers. Psychic damage, +1, +10% chance to inflict psychic slowdown. +1 melee knockback, +1 psychic slowdown. I like that. Let's start slowing some of these motherfuckers down. It was one of their first. Yo, Necronut, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? Destiny be like, that's my secret, Cap. I've always been hell. Yeah, I gotta admit, there was no part of that game that seemed appealing to me. But, I don't know, it's still around, so clearly somebody is enjoying it. I don't know if I could do psychic damage on these slimes, but... Alright, am I gonna get swarmed by shit again? There was just, what, 2 slimes? That's it? Oh, I'm sorry, 3 slimes. I'm doing well enough to stick around another day. And what's up with the brethren? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I forget what issue you were dealing with, but I know you were recovering from like a hospital stay. So, in that sense, it's always good to be good enough to be doing well enough to stick around another day. That's like the best most people can hope for. And I guess by those standards, I'm doing great. I think I explored. I think I got everything. I'm out of here. Oh yeah, that. They took out my whole colon and replaced it with my intestines. I forgot about that. Sorry, man. Not to make it sound flippant or anything. I know it was a pretty serious procedure. You Oh yeah. You aren't the only one. You aren't the only one in here that's been dealing with major intestinal or digestive related surgery. So I kind of get my procedures mixed up a little bit. Damn, everyone's getting gut stuff done. Yeah, Gons had his own stomach surgery thing he had done not too long ago. A few weeks ago at this point. Oh, shit. We're the gut people. We were gonna start a band. Our band name would be Gut Stuff. Or maybe that'll be the album name. Let's do gut stuff. 25% chance to trigger melee parry. +1 melee damage reduction from enemies when triggering parry. I'm gonna go with this guy. Yeah, Necrodug, I had my stomach shoot through my diaphragm, so they had to stuff it back in. God damn, that sounds awful. That gave me a shudder just reading that. That's an amazing name. The only part of this whole thing that makes me genuinely angry is that I can never eat nuts again. Pecan pie gone forever. That sucks, man. I am very sorry to hear that. I mean, I'm not a fan of pecan pie, but I mean, I eat peanuts and all sorts of different types of nuts and legumes all the time. All right. Am I gonna get swarmed this time? Damn it. Fucking stamina. The stamina breaks up the action too, because there's a lot of great satisfaction from being able to just wail on motherfuckers. And like, I don't know why they would want to take that satisfaction out of this game. I don't know if I'm ready to leave yet. I feel like I'm leaving some treasure on the table here. Yeah, there's some stuff over here. Just ammo, that's it. Yeah, I guess that was all. I'm sorry to hear that. Nuts are a favorite protein source of mine, for me. Me too. I used to buy a giant gallon container of snack mix with nuts and chilies and Chex in it, and snack on it all throughout the month. I do like those trail mix things too. In fact, I'm out. I need to get some more, but I still have like a big thing of peanuts downstairs. So that's the god damn it. The only reason why I haven't gotten more trail mix. Now I'm snacking on apples and pretzel sticks. I love apples and pretzel sticks. That's not like a bad thing, but just, you know, not being able to add nuts to that mix is a bummer. Okay, I'll put you some. Don't look at me like that. I'll put you some new food down there in a second. Okay, I feel like they're gonna swarm me on this one. No, that wasn't much of a swarm. Really? Just ammo? Still a great snack, but it's no gallon of pup mix. Well, you know, when I got my type 2 diagnosis, I had to cut out a bunch of sweets and sugary soda. So at first that was a real bummer, but honestly, like I'm fine without. I'm fine. I mean, every now and then I'll get some cookies or whatever, but I mean, prior to the type 2 thing, I was just downing Gushers and Starburst and all the kinds of crazy shit. And I'm perfectly fine without, you know, having eaten those in a couple of years now. So you'll just get used to it. You'll just get used to it. And I haven't had like a sugar soda in ages. Like, I thought for certain that would be the hardest part, but honestly, like, the zero sugar sodas out there are so good now that it's negligible. Like, I have zero sugar orange soda that to me tastes just as good as the full sugar orange soda, which, you know, that's half the battle as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to Dr. Pepper Zero, my jam. Dr. Pepper Zero, Coke Zero, Sprite Zero, I'm all about it. God damn stamina. That guy that shoots. Oh shit. Oh, he's psychic resistant. Oh! Damn it, I walked right into it. Oh, it was another shooting guy. Oh god, this guy, he's resistant to fucking... God damn it. Can they shoot up? Oh, he can. They can't shoot up. Get out of here. 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 Oh, fucking fuck. All right. Get your axe game back out. Oh, he knows. He knows what my plan is. Okay, they're coming. Get over here. Oh shit, someone's coming up behind me. Fucking dick, you have to spoil my plan. Almost dead. What? Gun, bro, gun. Got him. Whew. Okay. I need a potion in a bad way. Wait, why is my axe still out? God damn it. I got the key. Where is that damn door? I think I'm going back to where the beginning is. Oh, here it is. Wait, was I here? Clearly I was here. There's ammo all over the place. Where am I supposed to go then? Man, I'm on death's doorstep here. Let's see. I was over here. There's a hallway this way, so I'm guessing it's up here. Chaos Bind. Psychic Slowdown. Enhances Psychic Slowdown. +2 blocks effects radius and +4 seconds duration on enemies within. Okay. And then psychic damage +1, +10% chance to inflict psychic slowdown on enemies. Go with this one. See if I can't find some potions in here. Just so long as... Damn it! I was just gonna say, just so long as I don't have to deal with any of those shooting guys anymore, but there's one right there. Give me a potion. I don't need any more revolver ammo. Use the door as a shield. Okay, this was just on the other side of that. Why can't I hit this fucking guy? This is where they ambushed me last time. Okay, I made it. I got my... What is going on with the camera? Started being wonky right off the bat. Alright, I unlocked the shotgun, so hopefully I can come across it here early on. Although I really need to come across a potion. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Awesome. Alright, I could use more. I guess I shouldn't be greedy, but I sure wouldn't say no to a second potion. Oh, fuck. Good. Gun time. Why can't I hit this guy? I don't know if I want to pick up that key just yet, because as soon as I do, they're gonna swarm me. Awesome, second potion. Just what I need. As soon as I do, they're gonna swarm me. There's a blue key. Well, here they come. I may as well go grab it now. Oh, shit! He ambushed me on my way to it. Close to hitting that fucking barrel. Go back and grab some ammo. Oh, there's all sorts of motherfuckers just standing around over here. Stamina really fucked me out of that one. God damn, these fucking guys are immune to guns. God damn it, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why can't I move? Oh my god, that is so fucking annoying. Oh my god, that's so fucking annoying. Alright, that's it for me tonight. I'm just angry now. Wouldn't have been an issue if stamina wasn't around. There's no save, is it? I mean, I permanently unlocked the shotgun. But is it still unlocked? Do I still have access to it? Okay, I do. Good, good. Okay, cool. So at least I do get that. Alright. Next time I play this, I'm gonna go in with this guy. But not until I voice my anger at the developers at the damn inclusion of stamina. All right, that's it for me. That's it for me tonight. Thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it as always. Today's Thursday. Am I going to stream tomorrow? I might stream Fallout 4 tomorrow. I might get back into Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is my big RPG, so I gotta get back into Undisputed at some point again. And I'm gonna actually do the update now. Definitely need to start getting back into some more Helldiver sessions too. But for now, it's gonna be Fallout 4. So I'll be back tomorrow playing Fallout 4. Hope to see you guys then. If not, I'll see you when I see you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.